Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry we're running a little late today. It seems like I have technical difficulties on a Thursday for some reason. And maybe it's not just Thursday, maybe it's the weather. I don't know, David, but you and I, mainly me, seem to have technical difficulties. Oh man,
Yeah,
we'll get through it. I should just reboot my machine before I even get on the show, right? Have everything clean, and even when I get on a half hour before, right? So it is what it is, brother. It's good to see you again.
yep, same here. In spite of the technical difficulties, we're getting off. We'll be able to get off before and get our opinions known on Gulfstream Park Race 6. And
Yes, sir.
we've got kind of a quiet weekend coming up with stakes races. But
That's true.
Saratoga Racing Festival right around the corner. So yeah, let's kick this guy off today.
Yeah, we got some action coming up in July. Things heat up, not just the weather, but so does the horse racing action. So hopefully this weather we're seeing here will pass through us a little bit too.
No, you're getting storm
Yeah,
season.
so I think it's affecting Woodbine. Yeah, it's raining pretty good right now, windy.
Yeah.
So
We're supposed to get what you're getting is heading east. So probably in another hour
is
or
it?
two, we'll
Yeah,
be doing the same, having the same weather. Yes. So,
that it will be the case. And yeah, I think it affected Woodbine too. I think they took all their races off the turf, so
yeah.
always makes for
All right.
fun.
Yeah, I always
All right,
kind of
buddy.
vulnerable. Yep. Hey
I know,
Jay.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, good to see you. Scott, who else is in here?
You
Oldie.
hold on a second. Of course, as soon as we start, my doorbell's ringing.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just say hi. Wiz, good to see you, buddy. Who else we got in here? Oldie, thank you again for the help earlier. Jay, I hope all is well. Uh, and then once David gets back, we can kick things off. As you can see, I'm a little decked out in some hockey wear, and my background's hockey. Next, right now we've got a fundraiser going on called the 11-day power play, local to the region. Uh, Former college hockey teammate of mine, him and his wife started this event in 2014, is it 2017, I think it is. um, they were breaking the record, Guinness Book of Record, for the longest hockey game that Canada owned. It was 11 straight days, and they did break it that day, or that event in 2017. But they didn't dot all I's and cross all T's, so they didn't get the actual official breaking of the record. But they did do it 4 years ago. And the event is still going on, and now when they don't try to break the record, they do what's called a community shift, where two teams will take the ice for the 11 days straight. They tally the score, blue versus white, and raise money for local cancer research hospital, children's hospital, Camp Good Days, Special Times, and so on and so forth. So that kicked off yesterday, 11 days straight. My two teams play next Sunday, last day of the event. So you'll see me probably on Twitter promoting it and trying to raise awareness and stuff like that. So, all right, David, that's my
Okay.
spiel. I think we're ready to
Guys.
dive into Gulfstream Park race 6.
Okay. Would you like to run the race simulator and
Yeah, let's
check
look
out
at.
how this pace scenario sets up?
Yes, sir. So as you and I do, we always sort the pace, and then we'll let it run and we can chat. So looks like this 4 scratched out. I didn't get too deep into the analysis on the 4, but it looks like we have a couple front runners in the 1 and the 2 that are going to lead the pace. One might be the cheap speed of the 2 there.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it also. And as far as the one lunar rocket, I mean, the issue is 30-1 morning line, 30-1 EE morning line, 1% chance to win based on the algorithm there. And It just doesn't look like a 7 furlong horse to me. But Cheap Speed was racing for 10 last time out. That's a 62 group. That's a 58 group here. But if you look at Santos to Wilson, this horse ran against a 64 group last time out, and this Santos to Wilson has a habit of getting off slow. The last two, steadied early, stumbled break, then a couple starts back, hop start, going back to Del Mar off slow. So this horse does have a reputation of breaking slowly. However, I mean, if this horse can get off to a decent start today, it draws that inside post, will stalk the Cheap Speed, and there's not a lot of other speed in the race. So to me, this looked like I was surprised that Dune Road was, taking so much action here, because I mean, Dune Road's a closer per se, had won at 7,
right,
and now is off the claim. But the issue is, I mean, it's basically a small step up in SOR. But, to me, I mean, Daniel Hertak's not the strongest trainer off the claim. I mean, he's only 11%. So I think that horse is beatable. So I'd be on Santos to Wilson here, big time.
Yeah, it kind of was looking at the same analysis that you had. The other horse I was looking at, David, too, 6, I had a similar thing. The only thing positive, I think, is Mav aboard. 5 is kind of the same scenario, right? He's 4 for 6 at this distance. Did win back in April against 56 SOR group. Similar, came out of 25K claimer, just like the 6 did. Sits right off the pace, right? So if for some reason that 2 falters any, the 5 was the one that I was going after at a better price than Dune Road of the 2, right? If I was going to pick somebody that's going to come off the pace and try to catch the leaders,
right?
Uranium was the one I was choosing over Dune Road. And he did have a bullet work there on June 4th, and you could see Justin's notes in here too, and I think he kind of follows suit to what I had just said. I think, yeah, went back to back after its tactical speed. Cordero 13 off the claim, and then Edwin Gonzalez is a solid jock, so that's who I fell to.
Yeah, and at this point, Mike, the 5 is definitely a contender. And you're getting right now, out of the 3 main contenders here, you're getting the best value at 3-1. I mean, really, I think Santos to Wilson, I'm going to favor for the win slot. But you know my reputation. I'm not really interested ever taking even money. So I mean, unless I was going to single and play, I was going to play a couple of horizontal wagers, which I'm probably not willing to do today. I just didn't. I thought that the 9th race was an impossible race.
Yeah.
So we go through these races, but I mean, when I have an impossible race in the 8th, was it the 8th? In the 8th, I didn't have a solid opinion. So those are days I'll avoid playing the.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And again, doesn't mean we can't. Listen, if the 2 drifts up to 2-1 or 9-5. Maybe I'll reach out for a win wager, but I think I would definitely favor the 2 here, even at the price. But yeah, to me, it's a 3-horse race, and right now you're correct. The 5 is the value. And sometimes as you go and you go and you don't have you'll handicap, then the race comes up, and then you look and you're like, oh, I picked the 1 at the 2. But if the 5 was 4-1 or 7-2, that's such an overlay that sometimes I just play horses because of the price, right?
Right.
If there's value there that I think horses may be, getting lost on the board, even if I don't like the horse, I'm like, you could have a 15-1 morning line shot, and you're like, he's probably going to go off between 15 and 21, and then all of a sudden he's 28, 32-1. At that price, it's all about what is the value. What is a horse worth when, sometimes if a horse is overlaid, you just, I'll just play it.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's especially in situations such as this. You know, you
Yeah,
got two that are almost identical in the on the tote right now, and you know, what do you either take a stand if you're playing horizontals with the two if you really like one or the other, or you pass, right? Which
exactly.
talk about doing, or like I said, you find value, and the 5 was the one that I was falling on that I felt had some value over the 2 and 6. If
Correct.
the
Correct. And I see Oldie is against the 2. He does not think that the 2 can rate. And I don't know if he needs to rate here because I'm not sure the one's going to get the lead.
No, I think that I'm with you. I think the 2 will probably get the lead
Yeah.
without much trouble.
So I think even though Lunar Rocket's got the top pace metric here, should gun, but I think maybe the 2 is going to outduel him here.
Dune Road will complete the lineup.
Well, good luck, everybody who's got any action here.
They're at the post.
I'm on a 2. Mike's on a 5 for his value.
And they're off. Outside, Dune Road was away quickly enough, but Santos to Wilson is hard sent by Morelos, and he'll get a clear lead. Santos to Wilson is in front. At the rail, Lunar Rocket tries to go after him early. They've opened 3 in a hurry over Bati King and Uranium. They come away 3rd and 4th, and he broke well, but he's last of all. We're speaking of Dune Road, who's last of the 5 as they race to the opening quarter. Santos to Wilson has the lead. He's trying to relax mid-race from Lunar Rocket in the red blinkers. He's second through a 22-2 opening quarter. Racing in 3rd is Uranium, 2.5 clear of Bati King, and Dune Road is last. Half a mile away, Santos to Wilson, 3 parts of a length. Lunar Rocket second. Back to 3rd is Uranium. On from 4th, it's Bati King, and Dune Road is last. 3/8 of a mile away, nothing much changing on the top end as Santos to Wilson is still rolling. He's at the 5/16 on top, 2.5. Uranium is second. Lunar Rocket is 3rd from Bati King on the outside and Dune Road toward the rail. He'll need to giddy up from there. He's 7 lengths off, a bravening up Santos to Wilson. They went the half and 45-2, and they're on their way home. Santos to Wilson by 4.5 lengths. Uranium is second from between horses. Dune Road, he's just trying to get a slice as Santos to Wilson with a big, big lead. Final 16th of a mile. It's Amati Racing Stables. Santos to Wilson, who is a dominant race 6 winner. He won by 4 in the end. Uranium.
Well, we hit the exacta together for anybody in the chat room who had figure out taking both David's pick and Mike's pick. You got the exacta.
I think we did that the last time we were together. I think you and I were, if we weren't on the same horse, we seemed to hook up with.
And you got 6 to 5. I mean, not. And again, it wasn't the favorite, but probably by a couple of dollars at most. 6 to 5 on the 6 is the one that flashing as a favorite. So. Okay, not giving me much. I mean, I feel like can I get a boom, like a small boom? To me, a 6 to 5 is a small boom. I know for Matt Miller, he wagers a lot more capital on these horses than I do.
Yeah, so. If you do that and you play the exacta, I paid 5 to 1.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad price for a short field. We thought it was strictly a 3-horse race, right?
Yeah,
and you didn't get you avoided the 6 to 5 shot in the second position, so you got a little bit of a better value.
Yeah, and I think
I'll never again. And I think I'm sorry, Mike. I'll never in a race like this, a small field. There's no way you're ever going to get me to box 2 6 to 5 shots.
No,
I mean, he won to win and hope the third or fourth choice comes out in the second slot, or just key one of them to win and. Because it's just not
exactly, and that's kind of what I do in contests, David. And it seems to work out for me most of the time. To be quite honest with you, is I'll if you have 2 price horses like that or low price horses like that, I'll pick the one that I have the highest opinion of, and then I usually find a price underneath them, especially if it's the last race of the contest, to try to pair up. But it's obviously circumstantial, but you get a little bit more value that way,
Yeah, Mike, I see that you're getting a congrats from Jay on a great week of tourneys. I've been real busy with work, so I haven't really been checking them out. So enlighten us. You've had a good week, I guess. Twin
Spires playing cash more so Churchill Downs, and then I for entertainment purposes I did play Royal Ascot too, and I actually
Really?
had come in second on the day one.
Really?
Believe it or not, and
Congrats.
won a couple $100 or something like that for coming in second, plus my winnings, and then hit at Churchill Downs yesterday in a cash contest, won that one. So I'm racking up tour points on that, and
Nice.
learning the system, so we call it. But yeah, so I'll try.
Yeah,
to keep
and
it
also I did not realize until maybe a couple of hours ago that there's an NHC qualifier today, $125 entry fee.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
got
it's
some
only
friends in it.
one, so there's 103 entries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got. Hey, I see a familiar name on the leaderboard there, Paul Matisse,
nice.
former NHC champ, a fellow New Yorker. With the only two. Paul and I share something with only two New York bred NHC champions. If Paul, I don't know if you're listening, but good to see you there. Let's get you a seat here today. I'll be rooting you on. I'm not in. Are you in this, Mike?
Thanks, Al. I am not. No, I got some buddies that are in it. They're big NHC players and stuff. So I'll keep an eye on that leaderboard. I know they'll be pinging in our chat. So.
Right. And this is usually a day where I'm going to pick, multiple winners in a row. And then I'll look and say like, oh, geez, if I entered, I would have gotten it. And again, it's tough because it's only one seat today. And that means there's no tour points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were just Woodbine. That. So we got Woodbine real quick. They're going in the gate. I obviously did notes for Woodbine, so I'll give you my picks real quick. I know it's not going to help anybody trying to.
This is Gloria pulling back.
Make a bet here, but I went
first race winner.
Yeah, where's my Woody picks?
Second lifetime start took
I am 2 over the 1.7 here. 2 on top with the 1.7.
My first impression of 2 was going to looks like it's going to be tough to catch here.
12's breaking in front of the gate open is the 2 Super Serenade. Joining is the fiery 1 to the outside for Emma Jane and Pietro Morin on Super Serenade getting back. The race favorite. Not clear
she might get
one
some
of these 2, Super Serenade or the fiery 1.
She should be able to take them gate the wire.
As these 2 are the last 2 to settle. The fiery 1 has
here again. We got 2 prices, 2 and 7.
Set again. Stand by for a start.
I would probably just bet the 2 over
ready
the
to
1.
Run.
Mm-hmm. Good luck, everybody.
And off their race and going straight to the front. Anya Cornificia F. Getting a little tight there for This Is Gloria, and in the center, Super Serenade trying to settle, coming for the lead on the inside, Miss Ozige, and on the out of the fiery 1.
6 to 1 on a 2 over to 7.
Into third placing, it's line of 3 up the inside, pushing right through This Is Gloria with Super Serenade and Anya Cornificia F. The fiery 1 has gone up in front, takes the lead away from Miss Ozige. In third, This Is Gloria coming off the inside. 1.5 to Anya Cornificia F, and tucked away on the rail, Super Serenaders at the back. As they head up the back stretch and showing the way is the fiery 1, Emma Jane by a length and 3/4. Going to second, This Is Gloria, who's now shading Miss Ozige. And a break of about 3 to Anya Cornificia F, who's gaining some ground with Super Serenade, just 2 behind that second last runner. Showing the way is the fiery 1. And the fiery 1 working the way to the half mile by over a length to This Is Gloria, stretching the neck out nicely. 1.5 away. Third is Miss Ozige, and together at the back are Super Serenade and Anya Cornificia F. They race inside the 3.5 and no change. The fiery 1 getting further ahead now by almost 2 lengths to This Is Gloria. Continues to put the neck right out to make a challenge. A length away in third as they sprint is Miss Ozige. They've left the other 2 flat-footed. Anya Cornificia F and Super Serenade well behind as they come to the final quarter and still out in front. The fiery 1 finally getting a little bit of a break on them. In second placing, This Is Gloria, who's not given up. And then third is Miss Ozige down the lane, and a big effort here by This Is Gloria to stay in range. And the fiery 1 is holding narrowly. This Is Gloria second, and now coming is Miss Ozige down the outside. It's a slow boat to the finish here, but it's the fiery 1 in a very determined leading effort to get away again. The others have tried their hearts out, but the fiery 1 goes on to score by almost 4 lengths.
Wow.
Yeah, bad field, I think.
Yeah. That's
saying that slow boat, no one is gaining, everybody's tongues hanging out. and that makes sense for a 15,000 maiden claimer here.
Yeah, it looked like the 7 got the trip. The 2, we thought the 2 would get it.
Was projected to.
Now, if you look at it, they were in the race sim. They were 2-7-3, and 7 got the best of them out of the gate. So, yeah, interesting.
There's 2-3-7. Yeah.
All right, we got another quick turnaround to Belmont at the Big A, race 6. Looking at, what are these? 40K claimers, mares 4 and up, going 6 furlongs. No restrictions here, it looks like. Yeah, we're good.
How many minutes do we have to post?
We got 1 minute, it says.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking to see. I was under the gun with some notes today, but I don't think I got them in. But I will just tell you, for purposes of to expedite the handicapping process here, I did play a pick 4, as we discussed before the program, one on a single Uncle Jim. So I'll just tell you who I played before. So if we have time to analyze it, we will. So in this race, I did opt for 2 horses. I'm using this looks like the lone speed here, or should be on the front end. The 3 will be famous, and then I backed it up, looking for a little bit of a price, like a Rolling Stone. I like to cut back throughout the muddy track race at higher company, and then cutting back to 6. This horse draws the rail. I'm not crazy about Gomez with his 1-for-34 record, but looking for a price. Actually, I went 3 deep. I'm sorry. I used Always Angels. Irad jumps aboard for the 6. On the 6, not for the 6, on the 6. And but Wayne Potts and Irad, it's an interesting combo. Every time Wayne Potts won 2 races in one day, hasn't won anything since. So how'd you see this race, Mike?
Yeah, I was actually considering, I know, Brad's decent off a claim. This horse is been facing similar one last out at the distance on the same track. I'm just wondering about the pace scenario, though. I think it's going to be a little far back. That's my only concern with the 8, but the 8 was who I was leaning on here, Miss Lau.
Yeah, I've been burned so many times by not playing Brad Cox claims.
Yeah.
So
it's
a wild race.
Yeah. All right, looks like they're getting close to the gate. I'll try to play it through my phone and get the audio, see if it works. I know Oldie tried it last time, so we'll try it again. Looks like, I'm trying to see if there's any other. So who'd you decide on top? I know you had in the pick 4.
Yeah. I mean, I would be going with the 3 Will Be Famous. First off the claim for Actress. Looks like this horse should have the lead and may be tough to catch here. We saw the previous race. Those were pretty fast fractions set by Uncle Jim, and I didn't think he was going to hold. They were closing late, but he managed to hold on. So speed's been pretty good. I'm not saying the track's not, the track is speed bias. It doesn't seem to be, but speed's fine. And I think this horse will, get a good chance to wire this field. And it gets 5 pounds with Chris Elliott, the bug boy up. So it comes a little lighter. So
good point.
So with 3-1-6, I prefer, obviously, the 1 is a big price for my exotics, for my horizontals, but the 3 would be like that.
Let's hope you get the price. Can you hear this?
Yes. Right, sounds like a helicopter.
Ready, break, go.
Yeah,
the
does,
outside. All set.
Someone's mowing the lawn in the infield.
Right. Actually, they're off on my feed here.
Oh, so you're faster than me.
And the 6 has got the lead.
Well, that 4 outside draw, but they are lined up. Your In Between Horses, Kittens Appeal is in that early mix. Also right there is Always Angels. 5 across the racetrack early, as holding that rail position is Like a Rolling Stone, is hard set by Jose Gomez, wants to be up on the early pace. In Between Horses now settling is Jose Lescano on Equus. So the front 4 tightly bunched as they work into the far turn. Getting the worst of it there was Equus. Just got steady, checked, is all the way back towards the back end of the field. They're chasing Always Angels, who's up by a neck. Here comes Kitten's Appeal towards the outside. Miss Lau has had a nice journey, has been out of the trouble, is out in the center of the racetrack, is followed intently here by Willow Bend, and Willow Bend means business. 4 of them across the racetrack here as they reach the top of the stretch. At the rail, it's Always Angels trying to fight off Kitten's Appeal, who just keeps on running towards the outside. Willow Bend was making a menacing move, but is now taking some time to get to these leaders. It's Kitten's Appeal In Between Horses. Willow Bend is trying to get there. Willow Bend to the outside. Kitten's Appeal. Willow Bend is pushed on by. Willow Bend will get the victory. Kitten's Appeal second. Always Angels, and Miss Lau.
Interesting.
Yeah, my feed, believe it or not, my feed is always behind. My feed was ahead of you. So
yeah, what's weird is my phone is behind my laptop, so I wish I could figure out how to get to play the sound off of the laptop through this. But
well, this was a wide open race, and
yeah, it was.
You get the 2-to-1 shot. I was looking for a little more value, and the 3 ended up going out at 8-5. That just never got the lead, right? And it was never in position. It was too far back. So Chris Chris Elliott did not get that horse out like we anticipated. And then you got a long shot to run a really good race here, the 7, Kitten's Appeal, for Katie Davis.
Yeah, it was good. Ran a great race.
You know, the horse, the horse that was disappointing, besides the 3, that I thought the 8 was disappointing. Third, first off, a layoff for Brad Cox, and usually those horses
seem flat. Yeah, seem flat. All right, moving on. Let's see what we got next. We got Indy or Hawthorne. Let's see, Hawthorne. Yeah. Indy's got a 5-horse race, and Hawthorne's got a 7. I didn't look at Hawthorne. I know that wasn't on ours. You want to do Indy race 4?
Yeah, let's go to Indy race 4. Yeah.
I know it's a smaller field, but
what do we have? Yeah, we'll take a quick look at it.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes.
I haven't done much analysis.
So I have it sorted by pace. They're all pretty much the same paceless race for the most part. So it's who's gonna sit the right trip and who's got the better jockey on board.
Right.
I took a quick look at this, and the horse I've landed on happens to be the favorite at the moment in Mischief Mania. But the race sim has it 138. Scotty Picks has it 137, and win percentages have it 317. So the way I looked at it was the big GSR difference in Mischief Mania. One thing that jumped out, we just talked about Brad Cox, but this is a firster for Brad. He's 23% first time. Horses, the Into Mischief colt, 2-year-old and he's got De La Cruz, which is the top jockey at Horseshoe Indianapolis on board. Seems to be working fine. Nothing spectacular or flashy. Just seems to be ready to run, and I think should be ready to run here for his first.
Yeah, and Mischief Mania, trained by Brad Cox, and got the top GSR here. And I'm not a big fan of wagering on these 5 furlong 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Races. It's normally races I watch. I mean, if you look at the horse who has had a start, the 2 Sierra Power, I mean, that's not a bad debut race. And you're getting, 15-1. Sometimes these horses, and blinkers on, and sometimes these horses just improve. But, you look at Mischief Mania, and that's a $300,000 sale in Keeneland, September 24. And it would be tough to back at the 2-horse as a $3,000 purchase. So I mean, how do you bet against the 3, the Brad Cox horse? I mean, would Sierra Power be the worst to throw in second or third? No, but I think I'd take a shot here with the first time starter, the other first timer on the outside wedge. Bill Walden does pretty well with his first timers. This horse might be live. You got a bullet working on June 10th. So it'd be one of the favorites for me. At this point, I'd probably try to beat, I try to beat the 3 with the 8, and obviously Steve Morley's horse, the 7, line I read. So I got three listed workouts is what I have.
Yeah, that's what I
prefer to see more. I prefer to see more. So yeah. So to me, it looks like a 2-horse race between the 3 and the 8, and I think the 2 may run a little better today at a price.
I was looking at temperature, graded stakes winner, route runner for the most part. Looking at Alejandro's Town, Torres 0 for 5. Motown, Colt. Let's see the Dam. Yeah, Sprinter. A few races. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anything. I mean, 7 to 5 is not too bad. It's a 2-year-old
right
race. It's not one I would typically bet like you, but if I'm trying to find value, and I'm trying to if I'm hanging my head on Mischief Mania, maybe that second time starter Sierra Power underneath would be an exact to play. I think they might be getting close to the gate. Check it out here. Yeah, they're trotting around. We can
trotting around. Giving those first time starters. Yeah, giving those first time starters a little exercise here. But I know this is not the road to the NHC, but because the NHC is a big part of my life, obviously.
Yeah, we can look at
just going to give an update on the hold on a second. I apologize. I'm looking at the BCBC. All right. So as
it looks like
after 4 races, we've got Jim Clark on top, $25.90. Daniel Kaplan, $24.70. William Clunch, $24.70, and a couple of familiar names there. So we'll keep monitoring that. I'd like to see who's would be joining us in Scotty and
sure.
Group in NHC. So Mike, give me an update. And again, I've been kind of out of. It's just been a busy week with my other job, so I haven't been keeping up with the NHC stuff in the last 2 weeks. It's just been kind of hectic. Are you qualified yet for NHC?
I am not. No.
Okay.
Still trying.
Yeah.
I'll do a mixture though. I'd prefer to try to win a BCBC first, and then concentrate at least on an AC. But I'm trying to pick my battles right now on where my capital is going towards. So I scatter a few pick and praise in here. I really focus on the weekends where they're offering up the live.
You're more live with live money, not feeders or qualifiers for BCBC.
I've done better. Personally, I've done better, and the closest I've come are on the live ones. But it doesn't say that I don't play the pick and pray ones. Obviously feeders, but I mean the qualifiers.
Right.
I just would put more of my capital on the live ones.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Oldie says, careful on Cox horse. Didn't love the break in the June 6th work. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it still had, for a bad break, the time wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, that's a gate drill also.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of these are educational, and we've heard these before. Some trainers tell me that this is a good workhorse. doesn't run that great, and it runs better in the morning than it does in the afternoon. And some of the horses don't like work. I mean, and sometimes they learn a game and like, hey, this is more fun racing in a race rather than working out in the morning. Kind of broke shot. Okay, all right, keep that in mind.
What else we got coming up? Some contest wise, I don't think there's anything too much like big time. I know the Twin Spires has got a $3,000 one. The Stephen Foster one at the end of the month, June 28th.
Yes, I was going to ask you if you're qualified for that, or
yeah, I am not yet.
Okay.
Came close last weekend, but didn't make it in the last race. But I do have an entry into next Friday, 6/27, which is a $600 feeder into that $3,000.
Right.
So hopefully I'll do a little bit better. But they're giving out seats. I think they're giving out seats for everything. BCBC, Kentucky Derby, Betty Challenge.
Yes, yeah, that seemed like an interesting contest to me. And that's a Stephen Foster. It's not this weekend. It's the 3rd is 2 weeks.
28th.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
So next Saturday.
Right.
Yep. So there's still a few opportunities to get into that, qualify into that one. They have a Royal Ascot Saturday qualifier into it. Hasn't been getting too much traction, those Royal Ascots. Two reasons, I think. Obviously, it's international. A lot of U.S. players are not as in tune.
Well versed with it. Yeah, that's myself included.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good handicappers, a lot of good information out there if you dig into it enough. And but if you don't want to put your bankroll and things of that nature, it does make it tough. But the other thing is the payouts and the results are so lagging. Every day you're going into the last race and the race previous hasn't computed yet. So
really?
You don't even,
and that's
you don't even
annoying.
have that. You don't even have that bankroll to
Right,
utilize.
you can't get that churn going if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my $850 to be deposited. I want to make a wager here.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, from my style, that bothers me because, in a way, because I have I don't mind giving out my strategy, but I like to have a live double if possible to get me to my number going into the last, and then I'll use remaining bankroll to try to, easiest path to getting to that same number with an exactor or even a simple win bet if I find value enough to get to that value. But I need that bankroll if I did play something previously. So
5 furlongs, and the starter called Mischief Mania Napping was last on the gate. Fast start for Illini Red with right there Sierra Power.
And the 3 did not get off well.
He did not. Nope, you're
And the
right.
2, who I thought it was going to run a better race, is probably going to get dueled into submission here, but is running a better race already.
Up third as they round the far turn. Wedge is running second to last, and Mischief Mania is running in 5th. They round the far turn. Sierra Power and Illini Red. They're head-to-head, taking this battle toward the quarter pole. 22.74 lean seconds. Alejandrostown, Mischief Mania picking up now. Mischief Mania is on the move on the far outside around Alejandrostown, and Wedge is last. These maiden 2-year-olds straight and away, and it is Sierra Power gamely. Sierra Power leads with 1 furlong to go. Sierra Power has turned back a line on red. Mischief Mania trying to sustain a bid. Wedge is right there with the rail and the red helmet, and here's Wedge.
I don't know about that, Mike.
Up the rail for Joe Ramos. Sierra Power and Wedge comes through, and Wedge wins. Wedge with a first pass from Sierra.
I actually had the exacta, believe it or not. Thought the 2 is the one to squeeze in between those 2 because you never know what's going to happen. So did say it, but the 2, gets an education, puts blinkers on, huge price. I didn't think the horse could win, but I almost had wound up with egg on my face because I didn't box it. So I'm like, no, this horse can't possibly win. Now, just so don't get too excited, anybody in the chat. I did not make a Matt Miller. I played a $4 exacta straight. Okay, so but that works for me.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works. All right, so we got a Gulfstream up. We got a quick turnaround here, but they post drag just as bad as Indy. So maybe we can get a quick analysis in here. Looks like we got a big pace number here on the 5. So this is a mile on the turf, 4-year-olds and upward, 20K claimers. And yeah, shoot, they're not even post dragging. They're getting close to the gate.
Yeah, these are, Mike, to me, these are familiar faces, familiar victims. I don't know how much money over the years I've lost on Fredo. Flat top boxes, it made me some money. I had them at the NHC. I'm married to some of these horses. I think flat top box may be able to rebound, but I don't know what's going on with Fredo. I thought he was overbet. He was blocked last time out, but I'm looking at him at 5-2, and I think at a mile, he seems to have lost his speed, and I had pointed it out last time he ran. He's only 2 for 30, 1 for 23 lifetime. But I think this. I would take Fredo and flat top box in exactly here.
Nice. I took late flurries, but he is the need to lead type, so we'll see if he can clear. That's my only concern. The other one is the one clear destination off the claim for DeBona.
Right, as the post-time 85 favorite. Yes.
Hey,
good luck, everybody.
In the middle, flat top box gets the first call and goes looking for the lead, taken on by the gray Light Fury, and Light Fury will land the early advantage.
Right, I've got the lead.
Box reined back by Reyes to sit second. In between horses, it's Nerves of Steel who's on the improve. Floating wide to the turn is Ironsides. Belly of Jelly works over, shuffling back now. And racing in between horses is Tap It 3 times. Fredo's toward the rail, and the trailer is Clear Destination. Around the first turn they go. Light Fury has the lead under Edwin Gonzalez by almost a length. From Nerves of Steel in second, Flat Top Box is a keen third. Ironsides is on the outside in fourth, from Belly of Jelly fifth, orange colors. Fredo in tight toward the rail in front of Clear Destination, and shuffled to last is Tap It 3 times. The opening quarter was 24-1. They have less than 5 furlongs to run. With the advantage, Light Fury by a length and a half. Nerves of Steel, the nearest pursuer, second. Flat Top Box at the rail, third. Ironsides is now fourth from a rail running Fredo. In between horses, Belly of Jelly, 3 wide, Clear Destination, and 2 to the trailer, Tap It 3 times. They round the far turn through the opening half mile of 47-3. Flat Top Box given the green light to go after Light Fury. Flat Top Box blitzing up now to shove a neck in front. Light Fury is back to second from the outside. Ironsides looking for room is Fredo. Off the turn in the stretch drive, it's Flat Top Box.
Fredo switch leads there,
and
baby.
has to hold off.
Come on with that 3.
Flat Top Box a length and a quarter. Fredo lunging at
Get
him.
Up.
Flat Top Box. Fredo
starting.
Fredo gaining ground. Fredo is trying to get up. Here's the wire. Fredo and
I'll take it.
Nice.
It comes down to a head bob. Fredo and Flat Top Box in 134 flat.
That's called speed handicapping. 2 horses I know very well.
That is extremely speed handicapping. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 5 did get the lead, and I was questioning whether he would be able to hold it, and he couldn't.
Well, now Fredo did he definitely get up, right? On a bob? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Fredo now is 2 for 24 lifetime at Gulfstream. And congratulations, Fredo, 3 for 31. You got your third victory. I'd rather have the 4 held on. It was a much better exacta, but that'll work.
So that probably played all right?
Yeah, I didn't even look at that number.
It's 3-4, right? Yeah, 33-1.
Works for me.
Heck yeah. 52-1 the opposite way. Either way.
That would have been better, but
yeah.
Not gonna cry about that.
All right. Man, we got some quick turnarounds. Hopefully Woody doesn't oh geez, this 3-horse. That's not good.
3-horse race. All right, can we pass that? And is there something coming up?
I know we didn't cap Belterra. Belmont at Aqueduct would be the next race, most logical.
9 minutes, right?
So let's move to that one.
Okay.
So this is race 7. looks like, oop, I clicked on that. Why does it do that? Every time you, like, if you click on the race up here, it takes you to the coast to coast or the cross
Oh,
country.
yes, that happened to me before. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know what I was betting. I'm like, hold on a second. What's this? Make sure I get the right wagering today.
So we got a little time here. We'll play the race sim, and folks, while we have a little time too here, I'm gonna flash for those of you that are new to the channel or first time listeners, even those that have probably been here before and may have forgotten about us or how you can get in tune with us and stay connected. There's a like and subscribe buttons at the bottom of the video screen, of your YouTube's video screen, and I'll flash it here on the bottom right hand side. You click the subscribe button, hit the like button for us. It helps with our algorithms. And then that little bell next to all that, you'll get notifications when David and I are live or new live streams. We got our Saturday shows. We got our Thursday night stakes preview show when there are stakes races. We also will have some periodic special shows and things of that nature. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you'll get those notifications sent to you via your method of communication for those notifications. So we'll throw that out there for you. So yeah, David,
yes,
let's jump in.
Before we get to that, Mike T, how's it going? He's saying, wow, number 4-1 at Gulfstream over the 3. I'm going back there right now. It looks like the 3 clearly got it.
No, they did. Yep. We broke away too quickly.
I'm trying to. Whoa! Yeah. Now,
even better.
With a 3, an exacta box 3-4, and I thought the 5-2 finished in position 1. I am going to get a boom.
That's a boom. Nice.
That's a boom.
That's a 50. What did I say? 50.
Yeah.
52 to 1, baby. Yeah.
Yep. And now sometimes
nice.
it pays to stay married to these horses, because I think Flat Top Box was like one of my only winners at this past year's NHC. So, but he's been running well. I mean, he seems to fire lately. Last time he had a trouble trip. Yeah. So it worked out good. Okay. And I went over to the Big A too quick.
Well, that's awesome.
Okay, so we're looking at the race simulator here. These we've got a turf race here at. Let me just get up to my EquinEdge screen here. So yeah, we've got the 7th race of the Big A. We've got the mile and the 16th on the turf. Optional claimer, 100,000 claimer, 4 and up. And again, we've got some notable. Familiar faces in here. Big Everest, Tranquility, Dataman. I've watched him around a bunch, but the way I saw this race is that, I mean, I don't see. It's surprising to me how the 1 Big Everest is not one of the top 3 Scotty picks. Big Everest has got the blue ribbon, top pace, top win percentage, draws the rail with the top pace. I mean, this horse has a couple of layoff lines, and I'm thinking, with that layoff, Big Everest probably needed that race. You're drawing the rail here. You've got the speed. Joel needs to gun. This horse has got 5 wins out of 8 starts on this turf course, 2 a second and a third. I mean, he loves to win. 9 for 21 lifetime, 3 for 6 at the distance overall. I mean, if he can improve up that last race, I think this horse is going to be really tough. And the only other horse I was interested in, I think I have notes on both the 1 and 2 in this race. The 2 does seem real live here, but here's the issue. I mean, you pick up Irad, it's going to be overbet. I mean, coming off a layoff since December, that's 6 months for Shug. Now, Emily told me, you taught me something that Shug can win off a layoff. A horse burnt me on Pegasus Day that would have put me in contention for that handicap and for that contest. I mean, and so I listened to her, so Shug can get him ready. But I have my doubts about this horse at even money. So the way I'm approaching this, to me, I think the 4 is going to put a little pressure, obviously, on the 1. But I think if Joel has tricked me before and had dubious decisions and rides. But if Joel doesn't gun from the lead here, I'm going to be flabbergasted, to be honest with you. And he's got to outkick the 4. And I think the 2 may be a little short and will be closing late. And I just like a 1-2 exactly here. And at 7-1, I'm going to reach out for a pretty nice win wager on the 1 Big Everest.
Yeah, kind of. Oh man, I had a trouble with this one because I don't. Man,
you don't think Big Everest just guns and goes wire to wire here?
He has the capability. And the only thing is he hasn't done it in a while.
Yes, correct.
But the last time he did it was at this distance. But I didn't look at the replays, obviously. So what happened in these last 3 races? You just look at the trouble line, inside, in hand, fought on, press big. So I don't know if he was getting any other pressure, David, in those races or what. And maybe he just isn't the same if he has that pressure, right? He's shown he can rate. But if he gets any kind of pressure, though, I don't know. That I want to back him because I think he's a solid horse. Mm-hmm. But if the pace, that's why Cugino's kind of the horse I was leaning on because he should get first run. But then I always like to look for somebody off the pace. And you look at the race sim, you got the 2, 3, 7, 8, and as I mentioned, Cugino getting first run, and then I just move to the stretch to see who else has been coming. I just go back and forth here. And it's the 3 and the 7. It does have the blue arrow. And then Data Man, I'm familiar with this horse too. He's the one that I see that has probably the best closing speed out of those 3, the 3, 7, 8. And if I'm going to fall on, I probably would play a horizontal here. And I think I split it up, right? So I'd have somebody on like the 1, probably in second. It put Gugino on top and probably put Everest and Data Man underneath. That would be my play.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think when I handicapped this race early this morning, and this is probably the first race I handicapped with EquinEdge, and because it was, to me, is a race that I was definitely going to play, and I was really sold. I was originally going to use the 5s Forever Super, but obviously that horse is scratched, and the thing with Forever Super, he would have added to the pace scenario here. And I think if you look at that cliffhanger, that horse took a late money in that race. That was a wide open race. And he moved, he was stalked. It looks like he was getting a good trip. I think he was a little too close to a pretty contentious pace that day. And I thought sitting off the 1 and the 2, this horse was going to be really live today with JR picking up the mount. So I was real disappointed that he scratched, to be honest with you, because he would have probably been a single for me. And with the scratch, it takes away, to me, the speed scenario that previously existed. Right? Yeah, so I think the 1's got a really good chance of just the rail is convincing me that this horse is just going to gun and say ground and be able to wire this field today. Yeah, he has disappointed recently. Got a couple of neck losses. He hasn't won since November of 23. But again, he's had a lot of layoff lines. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's lost a step or 2 or even 3 at 7 years old. But I trust the Clement barn. I don't think they'd be keeping this horse racing and Reeves Thoroughbreds. I mean, they're a class organization. This horse probably still got stuff left. And I think he's maybe really ready to improve off that layoff. First race with that race under his belt.
All right, looks like they're going in the gate. I'm gonna be a little behind, I think. Using my phone. No, I'm on the same. I'm gonna use the browser version. Let's see if that'll be better.
Okay, so they're loading in the gate on my feed here, but for some reason on my ADW, it won't.
I got
Let
the
me-
8 starting to load.
Yep, same here. I think we're on the same page.
Okay, oldies
Then.
on the 8. You hear that all right? Oop.
I don't like the outside post and the closer, but here we go. Good luck, everybody.
Down towards the inside as they quickly come out of the chute. And Coutinho's in the early mix too. 3 wide is going to be
It keeps stopping on me.
just behind them. Is going to be exact estimates in the 3 pass here. It's pretty tightly bunched, but Big Everest is in front. The 2 trailers. Dataman with Masterpiece will be the trailer. They work towards that turn. It's Big Everest doing it nicely enough. Takes him into that turn, and there's Big Everest up by a half length over Strong Quality. At the rail, Cugino, patiently ridden here. A ground-saving journey is to the inside here of Exact Estimate, who's in the 4th position. 23.60 for the opening quarter mile. Big Everest and Joel Rosario's trying to slow things down up front. Is still a half length and a comfortable half length in front of Strong Quality, stalking in 2nd. Cugino is at the rail, 47.71, the half mile time. Exact Estimates in the 2 path is right there in 4th. Behind them comes Noted in Junior Alvarado. To the outside here comes the run from Dataman. And Masterpiece is still the trailer. They work into the far turn. Big Everest with a neck in front. Strong Quality's not going away. Strong Quality now trying to move in closer on the leader. At the rail, Cugino. Irad Ortiz Jr. just patiently waiting in behind rivals. Big Everest turns up her home. Is at the top of the lane. Joel Rosario has not asked Big Everest yet. Here comes a rally from Exact Estimate. Can Cugino get out of there? Now finds a seam. Dataman starts to rally on the gray on the grandstand side. Big Everest is very game, but now Cugino finds a seam and splits rivals. Here comes Cugino to the outside of Big Everest. Trying to run on his Exact Estimate. Cugino.
Oh, I got notes for the exact. 1-6. Not 1-6. Sorry about that.
Damn.
It was 2-6.
2-6.
So
7.
yes, Big Everest did run a game race, and it, like some of the other efforts, just tired real late.
Exact Estimate. Just so you know, I was just looking. Overlooked that. You had that EE morning line angle. Interesting. Yeah, 2617.
2617.
Yeah, look at that Exact Estimate. We got a few minutes before Indy. Yeah, Pratt aboard. Overlooked. He ran a great race. I mean, he hung on and almost identical to the last race in a way.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's
he did
kind of
add some pace to the. Right. I mean, it just seems he got the perfect. Pratt is riding in rare form. So he.
Yeah.
But and again, I mean, Joel did what he had to do.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gone for the lead. He had that rail post you couldn't rate. 2 ran a good
Yeah,
race.
it was kind
he
of
was
a
ready
fun
up the layoff. And, I thought that he would run well. I wasn't sure that he may not need that race, but a nice win by Cugino.
All right. Let's see. Next, we'll go to Indianapolis. Race number 5. I did not get to this one either. I kind of was all over the place today.
Okay.
So we can handicap this one. I don't know how you got to this one either, David. So
yeah, no, I did not. We can handicap it quickly on the fly. Sometimes, sometimes that works out better because you're not overthinking it. And we do have a prohibitive favorite here at 1-2, Mansfield Tiger.
So these are Indiana breds.
Indiana breds. There's $10,000 optional claimers. And let me just take a look here. The highest win percentage. Yep, Mansfield Tiger. He is the. There seems to be a pretty, for this level, there seems to be a pretty fair amount of early foot here.
There does.
Yeah.
And he will be a part of that by the looks of it as well, with three or four others. We just kind of go down the board here. The 4 hasn't seemed to be that type of form as recency anyway, but previous to that seems to get towards the front. The 2, I'd say so a little bit. The 1 in the last race did get in the lead. That was a turf race though at a mile. Let's see, back dirt looks like to sprint dirt. Last route dirt race was in September last year and did not get to the lead. So, looking at the form, David, I don't see there to be that big of a speed, contentious speed up there for that 3 to be worried about, to be quite honest with you. What do you think?
I mean, they're going 2 turns here, right? In the last race, this horse went, tried to go wire to wire and got tired late. But the race before that at a mile was on got another off track at the 5,000 beaten claiming level and kind of stalked the pace and just missed. Maybe the horse is won at the distance and probably third race off a layoff. This horse is going to be real tough to beat. And, just looking at it quickly, I didn't see a lot of other horses in here. I mean, can Bass Coat the 5? Let's see what odds he is. Is he? He's 5% to win. I'm always looking for maybe second race off a layoff to improve. Mm-hmm. The 6th highest memories is coming out of a 52 SOR group. Now, third race off a layoff. There's 2 races at the distance. That's the other logical horse to me. Yeah,
same. Oldie was saying that. I think the 3 is vulnerable, and the 6 is the most logical option. Be outside of that. Has 2 wins at the distance last year, back-to-back wins against 58 and 54 company on the lead, and then just off the pace. Seems to have been struggling a little bit as of late. Stock, no late bid, gave way. Was on the lead 2 back at a mile 70 and faltered. So, it doesn't need the lead, right? And probably won't be part of the pace either. Mm-hmm. So if there is any kind of contentious pace, the 6 seems like she or he will get first run, I would think. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else in here. To be quite honest with you, I don't think so.
You know what I'd probably try to do in here, Mike? Well, what about me and Chili at 7-2? That's the 3rd choice. Has 1 at the distance. To me, it looks maybe more like a sprinter. But I know this horse has got the lowest pace metric here, 5 Bass Coat. But if you look at the race on May 6th, that to me that's an ultimate. That's a clear prep race for a longer distance. Yeah. You look at all these other horses' starts is besides the 7 furlong race at Churchill at 12.5, where it was really overmatched and. This horse has been big prices, 54 to 1, 44, 70, 65. But, going back to Turfway on the synthetic, it was bet down at, 13 to 1. Off the layoff, coming back at 5, 11 to 1, moves up to an optional claimer 10. Maybe this horse. And maybe there will be somewhat of a contentious pace, and this horse could be flying. So I'd probably take a shot. That price at 12 to 1, I'd probably take a flyer somewhere for the 5 to hit the board here.
Yeah, I think the question I have for the 5 is the distance, though. Even though he has ran and did win at 8. Let's look at when he had an 8.5 furlong win, but it's been a while, right? No, he doesn't have one. The question though I have is, with the added distance, will he have enough energy at the end to close? Because if you look at his previous form in those outside of this race here, he seems to lose ground over the route races. So that's where the only question I have about that horse. But yeah, I think to me the 6 is the one that's the most logical to defeat the obvious favorite here.
Yeah, so what I would probably do is take the 2. Like I said, I'm hoping, I'm trying to get the 5. So, a hypothetical wager normally I do here is I take the 2 favorites, the 3 and the 6 over the 5. And because I can't really separate the 3 and the 6 too well. If I was going to, I think I may favor the 6 slightly. So I use those 2 favorites over the 5 horse, and maybe win play small wager on the 5 just in case the 5 runs better. But and you can play a try in using the 5 third with a couple of different combinations. So so it would be the 5 for me to try to get to a money position here.
Yeah, this is a hard race to bet, to be honest with you. I mean, just pick a winner and hope for the best. But
that's true, right?
It's just rough. You got three horses that are almost identical on the board, so it's not any one of those 3 can win. Most logical are probably the 3 and the 6, but one can probably make a case for the 2. 60 SOR in the last race was a 28% win, but just didn't run. 4 path, no closing. You see, that's the thing, and might get caught up in that pace too. So I just don't see it as a great betting race, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. Just wanted to address Oldie's statement here. Oldie, there was something showing up a glitch on Naira that they were paying out 2 of 6, and they corrected it. It's a glitch.
Yeah.
I was going to wow, I get a consolation. I have a chance to get 2 out of 6.
Let's see where Gulfstream Park is, David, because I think we're going to run up against it again. This is kind of a pain. So maybe what we'll do is we'll stick to Gulfstream Park because they seem to be butting up against Indy, and unless it's a sprint on the synthetic, we'll go
right. So maybe Gulfstream, are they getting weather situation because they seem to be going pretty?
No, they seem to be fine. Yeah.
420. Oh no, they're running on schedule. It looks like Indy's lagging, and I will.
Indy's lagging.
Can you? Do I have enough light? Can you see me well? It's getting very dark outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we're getting.
Yeah, you're starting to get my weather now.
Yeah, it looks like black sky. So we're probably going to get poured on here any minute.
All right, let's take a look at Gulfstream Park.
Gulfstream Racing.
Got probably a minute. We'll fast handicap this puppy too. That's how we roll, man.
Okay, let's see if there's any familiar faces in here. This is a 5.5 furlong sprint, but this is on the dirt, the real dirt, the main track.
Yeah, and there's a big pace advantage on the 4 with Grayscale here, and it's a 2 to 5 favorite.
Comes out of the
square, 19 points above the next highest pace. Top GSR by 11. Top SOR. All of the EE metrics are pointing towards this horse. It probably wins the race sim. Yes, it does.
Yes.
It does seem like good conditioning. And it looks like Justin's got a comment here too. Decent conditioning coming off the layoff. So it's short layoff.
Right. And I do have a comment here. I'm going to just reach out and say the 4 Grayscales, an absolute La Cola. You can't try to beat this horse. I was at the Swale that day, and that was such a contentious early pace. They went looking at the numbers. I think they went 21 and change and 43 and 4. 43 and 4 is the number that I'm showing here.
Yeah.
And I was like, my God, that they're not going to last. And Grayscale got off to a bump start, rushed up, joined that crazy pace. And that's the only reason Gate to Wire won that race, let's be honest. I mean, there were people touting, I hope you weren't one of them, Gate to Wire as a Triple Crown candidate. Or not Triple Crown, a candidate to run well in some of those preparations. But I didn't see it. I just thought he was the beneficiary of a ridiculous pace. And Gate to Wire hasn't run so well since then. So I don't see how you beat this horse. There's not going to be any contentious pace. And this horse is going to air with Safi and Zayas. Single.
Yeah, I agree. I think of course, the second choice is the one. So I don't know. It's not even worth. I was going to look to see what the exact is paying.
And because of my
ADW,
my affinity for, I should have said this for Eddie Plisa, I'd use a 4 or 5 exacta, but not too late.
I know. I went to go fire an exacta, but I didn't make it. My ADW closed. The two outside horses ran into each other.
Did they hear?
Yeah, I don't know why the sound is.
We get the lead.
There we go.
I
didn't have the sound on.
Grayscale is on the chase from second, 3 better than Backham up third. Blue colors, Lawler, 4th at the rail. 5 ahead of Midnight Boss, and El Tin Marine is outgunned. They pass the 5/16 and Latch the Hatch is only a half length in front now as Grayscale goes on the attack from second. 5 back to the rail, and Lawler finds his best stride and comes on next. Off the turn and the stretch drive. It's still Latch the Hatch. He's in
the ones running a big race.
Grayscale got within
he
half
is.
a length.
Holy
now
cow.
He's down a length and a half.
Grayscale's all over the track.
They come past the 8th pole.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there. There's no Lacola.
Wow.
Grayscale's not going to get to him at 7-5. It's Orsino. It's Breeze Easy. It's Latch the Hatch by 4 in the end.
All right.
Grayscale,
so this shows you something. Edwin was very aggressive from that one post, and they're only going 5.5, and he outkicked Zayas. And if you looked, Grayscale, maybe by speed handicapping, we overlooked this. Grayscale did get off slowly both starts, and but coming out of that swale, you figured that the horse would be tough to beat here. But good ride by Edwin. And
yeah, and you look at that. Holy made a good point. Is a top win percentage, top pick.
Well, we got 5 lives, said Dave. David called that 5 horse at Horseshoe. Did he actually win the race?
Let's check it out.
All right.
5-3-2.
There you go.
Nice.
So a little exactly using the 2 favorites, a little win place money, and then they go to Gulfstream and you give out a 2 to 5 shot. So let's see what that horse paid.
9 to 1.
That's got to be a nice price.
Yeah, 9 to 1 on the 5.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So we can take one loss on a 2 to 5 when we got
right.
We give out a 9 to 5, 9 to 1 shot, right? And had a good exacta earlier. So
that's right. All right, let's go to Woody. Got 2 minutes, and they seem to see if they're post-dragon at all. No, they're on the track doing all right.
Yeah, $21 horse.
That's nice.
And we got an exotic payoff, a 6-3. Oops, what happened to my exotic payoff? It just disappeared. I did not use the exacta the other way. 5-3 exacta, $88. Should have used it.
So that 3-horse Woodbine race, the price horse won.
Yeah, did you ever hear the expression, Mike? I thought it was short, longest price in a 4-horse race. Yeah. Maybe longest price in a 3-horse race.
That's funny. Oh, gosh.
Okay.
All right, we got a minute. We can do some. I got some notes on Woody since I think I didn't take any notes in this race because I wasn't a big fan of it, especially coming off the turf.
So you want to analyze this race coming up at Woody?
Yeah, it
All
looks
right.
like there's a pace square on the 3. What is it, about 18-point advantage over the 4? Just real quick. Yeah, it looks like it broke last out first and then faltered. Troubled line says pace gave way. Led collar to the 3/16th pull, wilted. And then the 4, to me, looks like its older form is more of a breaking out on front. So to me, even though that pace advantage and the race sim has that 3 out front, I don't know that he or she's going to get that big of a. She has that big of a pace advantage, and the race sim does show her stopping, drop and anchor, which if you look at her past performances, that is true, except for that sprint and her debut.
Yeah. Now, so this was originally carded for
the turf.
Turf, and now all off the turf today at Woodbine. So we're on the synthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
they're going in the gate too.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be on Poetic Amy. Second off a layoff. Does need a little pace up front, but he never had won a race on the turf, and she, that's a pretty good prep race in my opinion. And I like these second race off a layoff. Sometimes these horses just improve with that one race under their belt. 9-2 is good enough of a price for me, so I'd take a small bob on the 1 Poetic Amy.
Yeah, I was on the 8, and they're off.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting these guys are. I don't know why we're not getting sound all of a sudden.
I don't see any.
It's because I'm not sharing the tab.
There you go. All right. Miss
Out in front, Miss Soggety's under a hold, is certainly being rated to get this distance and leads the way.
The 3 did get a pretty easy lead.
Towards the final furlongs. Lying in second, Zipfire, and coming forward, Mrs. Hotshot, darting into third. Pickford Sweet just up on the outside of Logistics, and they share 4th and 5th. And behind them, Poetic Amy, Perfect Girl coming into it, and 2 away last is Serenading Amaya. They go inside the half mile. The first half went in 48 and 3, and having a peep round is Sophia Vives on Miss Soggety's to lead by almost 4 still. In second,
just ride,
Zipfire. Lying third, Mrs. Hotshot from Logistics. Coming around the field is Perfect Girl. Under pressure is Pickford Sweet. Over on the inside, Poetic Amy needs a run. And 4 lengths away last, Serenading Amaya. Miss Sogety still well clear by 5 lengths. Has been ridden really well here. And as they turn, it's Sophia Vives trying to nurse this one down the stretch. The distance, the big question, and she's getting tired. 4 in front. Coming is Perfect Girl right down the center. Battling away in the center, Mrs. Hotshot. And Logistics, they're coming to take over. Logistics finishing really well. And Poetic Amy behind the crowd. Logistics and Perfect Girl and Logistics, and then Poetic Amy. Logistics on the inside, driving clear, and Logistics going away to win by a length and a half to Perfect Girl, Mrs. Hotshot, and Poetic Amy. And then came Pickford Sweet, the rest well behind, and the time of 1:45.99.
Virginia Closer as the favorite, I believe here, right? 6-5. So in a race like this that seems relatively wide open, got a bunch of horses closing at the end. There's no way I'm going to pick a 6-5 shot. But Miss Socrates did run well and just spit the bit at the end.
Yeah, it came in 4.8, looks like.
4.8, the 9. 1 ran okay. Just took a little while to get going, but the Scotty Picks had it right. The Logistics, Perfect Girl second. I mean, the Scotty long shot was right there, and Poetic Amy finished 4th.
Yeah, interesting. All right.
What do we got for
Aqueduct?
Aqueduct's coming up, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm on a horse here. Let me just pull it up.
All right. We got a big field here with a few
scratches. Got a big field. You've got a $15,000 maiden claimer on the outer turf, going 6 furlongs. I mean, there's a bunch of horses here, these are fillies and mares, a bunch of fillies that have been dropping from a number of them from maiden special weights into a maiden 50. You'll see, it seems to me that I've been watching a number of these 6 furlong outer turf races, and Speed's been real good. But I like Speed from the outside post. I mean, artistic success, this top Scotty pick's going to be real tough with Irad. And again, going to be overbet, blinkers on. I mean, had the rail post last time out, comes off a layoff. But, I mean, this horse doesn't have to win. You may need a race, blinkers on. And, yeah, again, like I said, with Irad, is overbet. I'm not crazy at 9 to 5. The horse that I had singled in my horizontals, my pick 4 was the 8 Gadatees. Drops down from the maiden 50. He's a money bag horse. That was a 50 SOR. Now this is a 42 SOR group, and a Bond can get horses ready off a layoff. So this is a weaker group. Had the outside 11 post, may not have carried, but showed some speed. Blinkers on second time today. And I mean, James Bond is only 9% first time back. That doesn't bother me because Lasix on and JR picks up the mount. And let me look at JR doesn't really ride a lot for the Bonds. So let me look at the combination here. It's probably not a big sample size. Yeah, 0%. There you go. So I was right by my memory. Yep. They've only had one start together. So to me, that's a good sign that JR picks up the mount here. Mm-hmm. Now maybe this horse is live at current price at 7 to 2. So it's taking money. So give me that's my single. That was my single in the horizontals, and I'm not changing it. So I'm on the Bond horse. Got a tease.
Yeah, I'm looking at it real quick here. Strength of race. Sorry, these are 3-year-olds and up. Look at lifetime. It's like the 9. Take a look at this 9. Is that a 6 of 10 in the money? Atris with Manny aboard. It's been hovering in this company, right?
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, for a while. Hasn't really done. Kind of seems like a one-trick pony, right? Gets up just off the pace and just stays there, right? Not a fan of
right. And again, mostly a dirt horse. Out of 10 lifetime starts, only 2 tries on the turf, but had a third, and does show a little speed on the turf there. Maybe what's the GSR difference here?
It's a drop. It's a little bit of a drop. If you compare
49,
compare her to the rest of the field, she's near the bottom.
And the thing is with me, I mean, this horse is dropping from higher SRR groups, maybe special weights. This filly has raced against 30 claimers, 20 maiden on the dirt. That's the bottom. That's the lowest they go here. I mean, I'm not really sold on the 9. No, but again, it's a weak field, and
it is.
I mean, if one of the I could even see a scenario one of the speeds doesn't go, and Joel on Inflammable just gets out to a clear lead. Not the worst long shot in the world. Does have speed, but for my purpose, I singled the 8. Like I said, get a tease.
I mean, sharp. Was it Resin? Yeah, coming off a long layoff. Didn't break well. Still finished though pretty well, even with the bad break. I know it's the favorite, but I'm not liking. Besides the 6 or the 8 you're talking about, David, nothing else is jumping out at me.
He's jumping out at you, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean the 12 would be the other obvious horse, but looking at a 9 we already looked at, and the 13. Just doesn't have it either. Yeah, this is weak. I can see why you singled the 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking for a price. I wasn't going to use the favorite.
Yeah. I can't argue with. I can't argue, man. I just look at that quick handicap, and there's nothing else except for that 8 and 12, in my opinion. I don't know what the exactas are here. Let's look at that real quick.
No, and again, this may be the type of race where board blows up. I mean, it could. Could Argentina, the 2-horse, the other Bond horse, Kevin Bond, which is James' son, with the Katie Davis aboard, second off a layoff, cutting back from a mile, blinkers on. If that cheap speed just dies, the 2 could be flying here. So the 2 may scare me a little bit. Give you like a stroke coming down the stretch, flying, weaving in and out of traffic. It wouldn't shock me to see the 2 run an improved race here with Katie aboard. But yeah, right. Jay, I'm on the 8. Yeah, as a single.
Yep. 8-12. Looks like they're bored. They're getting in the gate here.
How about 8-12? I'm gonna get that 2 in there.
There we go.
Oop, the 5 is very fractious, and that is you better watch how I say that. Aperitif. I almost said something else.
Yep.
Ooh,
lost the
backs off, but the assistant started does have control of the rein there.
Aperitif unseated the rider there.
I can't move that.
Aperitif is now in.
Got him on.
Tisn't anymore.
Can I add some audio?
To the outside.
No.
Right.
That's what we normally hear.
You hear that, and at least you don't hear the lawnmower going right now.
Right, exactly.
My gorgeous. Who's in? All set.
Right, good luck, everybody. Finale of Aqueduct.
And they're off. Good speed from in between horses comes Artistic Success is right there with Inflammable. These 2 across the course at the rail moving on through is Frog Hollow Summer just having to steady as getting the rail position was Inflammable, who's now in front. Good missions in between horses. That's the gray who's sitting in 4th. The far outside, Graceful Warrior starts to make up some ground, and it's a lineup of 3 in behind them. In between horses there at the rail was Endless Vow, and Argentietta is also moving forward with Aperitif. On the far outside, here comes a run from Gatatiz towards the back end of the field. Also trying to launch a rally, and Tiguan Rum Runners far out of it. Trying to run on, there comes Tisn't Anymore. The 21-4 for that opening quarter mile. Inflammable is in front. Inflammable has the lead. Towards the outside, Artistic Success is trying to run that leader down. It is Inflammable, still finding plenty on the front end. Here comes a big late run from Graceful Warrior down the center of the course. Good mission. They're all chasing this leader. Inflammable has a 16th left to go, has a length and a half cushion. Artistic Success, good mission. Inflammable wins the finale.
Like I said, not the worst scenario, seeing Joel wiring this field. It wouldn't be impossible. I used the wrong single, that's for sure. The 8 did not get off well at all. Too far back, made a rally. I don't even think he beat out his entry mate, the 2-horse. Well, family entry mate. So good job by Joel. At a nice, decent price at 5-1. Oldie, boom, big 5 for Oldie. Nice.
Nice, Oldie. Nice, Oldie. What'd that pay, buddy? Had to pay. All right. Pick five. $900. Heck yeah, brother.
That works. Boom. That's a boom. Anytime I can win $800 and some odd dollars, yeah, that's a boom. Good job.
Yeah, Nice, oldie. Actually, that's a couple grand.
Little-
Play it for 50. Nice. All right. What we got next? I know Indy's bumping into Gulfstream Park.
Okay.
Seems like it's been right. We were running into
Yes.
that problem.
So, right. So we got Indy 4 minutes, Gulfstream 8 minutes.
Let's just do Gulfstream then. We'll
Okay.
give it a run.
Gulfstream Park. Race
David,
9.
Want to talk through it a little bit? I gotta go take a break for 1 minute. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
sure. Thanks for letting me talk to a maiden 12.5 claimer.
I know, right? I could have picked a better race.
No,
Let's
that's
see.
okay. I'm only busting your balls there. All
Let's
right, let
see.
me just pull it up. Yeah,
Or she's got a
EquinEdge.
20 starter optional claimer.
No, that's okay. We'll go to Gulfstream and then.
All right, buddy. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. So we have the 9th race at Gulfstream Park, 12.5 maiden claimer, fillies and mares 3 and up. And again, I couldn't make no sense of this race, and that's the exact reason why I did not opt to play any horizontals here. I picked 3s, 4s, or 5s. I'm not, in all honesty, 12.5 level here. My ROI is probably not great at these numbers, but when I see that, so the first thing I do on EquinEdge, I sort it by, and I think Mike does the same thing, sort it by pace metric. And the horse has got the top pace metric here is Game Changer Jolie with a 68. Now, the second highest one is the 6 Venezuelan Pride. And that horse, that filly's only got a 43. So that's a pretty substantial advantage. So this horse could have the lead for a long time, be a threat to wire the field. However, when I have a trainer like Happy Alter, who's 0 for 7, hasn't hit the board, I'd have to do more research. I just don't have the time. I don't know when the last time Happy Alter had won a race down at Gulfstream, and have a large contingent down there. But so I'd be a little dubious on this horse at 4-1. So then we'll go to by post. By morning. By actually the odds right now, the 5-2 favorite is the 3 Perfect Connection. I mean, racing against 17 5s. Started out a career at 50,000 maidens. That dumped to 35, now to 17. And so, dropping down to the lowest level this horse has ever been, 12.5. Let's take a look at the SORs. Now, so in last race was a 44 SOR. She's going down to a 38. She's definitely live, dropping down. And I guess I probably prefer her over the 1 Game Changer Jolie. But in a race like this, in all honesty, I do not have any intention to bet the first or second choice. I'd be looking for somebody. I had a friend of mine who always said, you don't worry about betting a bad horse in a bad race. He says, bad horses win bad races. Sometimes they just perk up and run well. And the horse that that horse was scratched to whoever was going to play, so forget that idea. But I think at the price right now, the horse I'd be interested in if it stayed at 5-1 is the 2 Running Hot. Had run. The question I have about Game Changer Jolie, besides Happy Alter, is now you're on dirt. She's never run on dirt. She's been running on the Tapeta. Her 1 mile race was on the turf. It's not a bad race. She showed speed from an outside post and tired late, but that's probably justifiable. But if you look at Running Hot, 3rd race off a layoff, had run out of the dirt last time out at 5-1. Did beat Venezuelan Pride, who's the 6th horse in this field. And, Spats is doing okay, 14% of this meet. Reyes picks up the mount. A 3rd race off a layoff may improve. I'd be interested in it too, Running Hot here at the current price. How did you see this race, Mike? Did you look at this previously?
I did not get a chance to look at this race. Okay. I was just kind of looking at Justin's note on the 1.
And I'll let you take a look and go through it. And I am going to be back in like 2 minutes.
You got it. So yeah, first call, 25-point pace advantage over the next 6 Venezuelan Pride. Looking like in form here. The last race was just behind the leader, and then faded. I don't see that as speed to worry about with the 1. Justin's note does say, makes the surface switch, does go to dirt. Look at the GSR difference, 38 up to a 64, so that's a big jump. Looking at GSR plus, you can see that this horse probably prefers the dirt. And with that big of a pace advantage, a big bump in GSR, top pick, top win percentage, top EE morning line. I mean, that horse is got a really good chance to wire this field. I don't see anyone. Let's take a look at the 9 here. No, it doesn't break well at all. If you look at the pace figures, those are the 2 that have the higher value. 7, switching from turf back to dirt, ran and 24 lengths back. It's only dirt try. No, thank you. To me, it looks like the 1 wins it. Now the 3 comes up and is the top choice here for Garofalo. Been facing tougher. All right, Oldie. Thank you, buddy. Take care, man. Best wishes to your son. So yeah, I don't know. Garofalo, perfect defense, pace 27, GSR 48. Let's see if there's any changes. Switches back to dirt. Are there any changes for that? Yeah, let's cut us besides cutting back. So keeps the blinkers on. Cutting back from 8.5, which isn't all that big of a cutback against 44s. I think the only reason why is it's been, racing against a little bit better. Form-wise, it just doesn't finish necessarily. So I am against the 3. And Miguel Vasquez on the 7. I think we looked at that. Returning back to dirt where it ran at 7 furlongs. Not a fan. For me, I think Game Changer Jolie. All the EE metrics point to it. Should get the lead. I think Justin's analysis is spot on here. Nope, that's where I would land. Let me see. Anybody else? So I missed who David said he was on. If anybody remembers who David was on. The 9's taking a GSR bump. Let's see, 1%er. Running hot, I think is who he's talking about. Spats Reyes, finished second, but still didn't make up ground. At this distance, last out against 32, he had the 2. Yeah. Thank you, Scrat. Let's see. Couple works at 51, 4 furlong work at 49.7. Not much of a change in GSR after switching to dirt in the last race, which means nothing really happened with all of her siblings necessarily. And 32 SOR going up against 38s. Hey, Tony. Good to see you, buddy. The 10 horse will run well here. That's the 1 horse I haven't looked at yet. I think I've looked at every horse except that one. Stretching out, right? Looks like it's been running mostly sprints. Last 2 on the dirt. 2 back. Ran a close second. Did close, right? So it was 4 furlongs back and closed nicely. See if there's any trouble. Bumped to the start by faders. Nice comment. GSR stays the same. Yeah, I mean, it looks like she could get the distance. No work since the 22nd. That's a little concerning. I'm not quite sure why there's no work since then. That was a month ago, right? I think you can see a work in there between then. David, I can't. I like the 1, to be quite honest with you. I don't see anybody that can run with her on the front end, and there's no indication. I mean, here are those two, the sprint and the mile on the turf. She did falter, but I don't see any other speed in here, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I had pointed that out too from the rail. No speed, no other speed. But yeah, again, I just when you haven't run on the dirt before. I'm not sold, and I but there's not many other options in it. And here, I don't want perfect connection at 6-5. So game changer Jolie at 3-1, I think maybe a little light for me. I just think running hot from that inside post maybe. I mean, the last time out she had the 7 post. She moves into the 2 posts here. I mean, 2 back she lost a rider. She could, even though she doesn't have blinkers on today. I mean, there's not a lot of speed. I hope that Leonel Reyes guns here and starts the 1. And I pointed out, Mike, that unless Happy Alter to me hasn't won a race, he's 0 for 7 at this meet. I don't think he had many horses over the championship meet, and I don't just remember the last time he's won a race. Happy Alter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So to me, and again, maybe that is my downfall at times, but if I was using horizontals, I would use the 1, but I would also use the 2.
Yeah, let's see where they're at. They're
for a win bet now. Yeah, at 7-1, I'm using the 2 as a win wager.
All right, I'm gonna make a bet here, and I'm gonna bet the 1 over the 2. Exactly. Okay. Straight up, ice cold.
Ice.
Yeah, I see your point with Happy Alter. He's 2 for 25 at the meet, so that's 8%.
Right.
So we're gonna make it 3 for 26.
Okay. All right. I see Leonard is on the 1 over the 5-10 key box.
There you go.
Yep.
And Tony D's on the 10, I think, unless he's changed his mind.
Yeah, I think Tony's on the 10. And third race off a layoff. This horse couldn't run well. This is a weak field, but I mean, this horse has been at the 12-5 level for a long time.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time. Even money favorite is number 3, Perfect Connection. Cipriano Gill on the irons for trainer Jose Garofalo. In the line goes a Fancy Solution.
Tony's got a 110 exacta.
Little blinkers of Perfect Connection.
Good luck, Tony.
3 more, waiting for Make Sense of It. Done Dirt Cheap. And from the outside,
there you go, a little AC/DC.
There you go. Done Dirt Cheap.
That horse wins, we'll play some dirty deeds.
Okay, get it going. 17-1.
Make Sense of It. Nipsey to the outside.
They're loading pretty well here. Gabby Squared has moved into the gate. The last couple move up.
They're at the post.
Do I have someone else's sound on? I do.
In the middle, Venezuelan Pride, quick to begin, moving up toward the inside, Makes Sense of It. Down at the inside, Running Hot's not far away. On the far outside, that's Nipsey looking for some forward position in the run out of the chute. They're stacked across the course in what is a paceless event as a Fancy Solution now sticks her head in front. From between horses, Venezuelan Pride alongside Make Sense of It. Running hot is Toward the Rail. Out in the center, it's Nipsey. From behind the speed, Perfect Connection is angled out. She's only 2 lengths off.
One never got the lead.
About
No.
6 at the stage. Game Changer Jolie Toward the Rail. And Done Dirt Cheap is last of all. They fanned across the course behind a very slow quarter of just 25 seconds flat. They head to the half-mile point. Running hot, now allowed to kick on a bit. Leads by a length, Nipsey. Up on the outside is now second while on a hold. Perfect Connection launched into the clear by Gill, circling horses into third.
Luca,
Back to fourth, Game Changer Jolie. That's all for Venezuelan Pride and Make Sense of It. Tailing off the Fancy Solution and Done Dirt Cheap as around the far turn.
Yep.
3 wide, Perfect Connection with a bold bid now to take the lead. Second is Running Hot from the inside. It's Nipsey who's between. Game Changer Jolie. She angles off the inside with a quarter of a mile remaining.
Three still got.
They went the half in 48-3. They went 3/4 in 1:14-1. They have Perfect Connection to beat.
Yeah,
and she's off the turn, widening on her rivals. From the outside, Game Changer Jolie's going to try to get into second, but holding that spot is Running Hot. Nipsey's between. But if you back Perfect Connection, you can head to the window.
One for fun, as they say.
Perfect
Battle is
Connection.
for second.
Connect breaks the maiden and does it with about a 6-length margin.
No, we got second place, right?
Running Hot gave me a second place finish. That's not so bad. That's 6-1.
Well, pick the wrong.
By far the
lower
best.
price
Dirt. 7-5. And Game Changer Jolie never got the lead.
Nope. Nope. What was not happening? All
Got to
right,
be
we
careful
our-
with those happy auto horses.
All right. You're right. All right. We're going to kick Churchill Downs off. I know we can't show them, but we're gonna kick them
Churchill.
off. Yepper. We got 2 minutes to post, so we'll have to quickly get through this bad boy.
Oh, 2-year-olds. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to look at the race. I'm not even going to look at the race, Mike. Just give me the Wesley Ward horse. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Let's see. There is a Wesley Ward horse there. It is a 9. Yep. Was the morning line favorite, is now the second choice. It looks like.
Well, I'll take a quick look here. Let's see with pace scenario. And it's 5 for. Oh, this is turf. So let me take a look. The Mother of Pearl, the 2 has a pretty decent pace advantage. Delightful Darling is 26% to win. Yeah, let me just take a quick look here. 2-year-olds on turf.
Let's see. We got anybody with a start? We got a couple.
The 2 Mother of Pearl is show speed. Tire last. First turf.
Jake's got some comments in here as well. Yep. New jockey Sophie Doyle aboard. Let's see. It looks like Julian and Sophie was on her in her debut. Finished third at 5.5. You would think she took a step backwards there. Switching to turf at the same distance. So not a good sign if she took her first race was all that great. The other horses that have a race in is the 9 and the 8. That's the Wesley Ward horse coming back since the April start. He obviously has decent numbers off of second starts. Yeah, you know what? Wesley Ward horse is not too shabby. Drops in GSR, switching to turf after the sprint in her debut on the dirt. That's a negative there. Meringue, I think is how you say that. Lemon Meringue for Rudolph. And gets Luan aboard. And workouts are, they're okay. Nothing to jump frosted. Sire Frosted definitely wants the distance. The dam side, all dirt on pedigree here. I don't know. Dirt pedigree there. This is not an easy race.
Well, hold on a second, Mike. You expected a 5-furlong turf race for maiden 2-year-old fillies with mostly first-time starters to be an easy race?
Oh my gosh!
Well,
right.
like I said, I'll give you some input here, limited, but and I was sort of saying this and just give me the. I don't need to handicap. Just give me the reward. Vibora, I'd use engagement somehow. I like these Omaha beaches, but here we go.
I didn't realize they were that close to post. That's what happens when you're engaged, and I'm not going to get it up fast enough because they're going. It's just a short race. Looks like the 4 Delightful Darlings on top, but getting pressed by Vibora, the 9, is your 7-2 choice. 9 still pressing the 4. 2 coming up the rail. Mother of Pearl at 12-1, but not enough. 4's holding strong on the lead. Delightful Darling. 5 coming up on the outside. Second City Saint.
And Second City Saint's going to get there.
Looks like
one's going to get
here
there.
goes the Lion. Meringue.
There you go, Meringue.
Dang it.
For Rudy Brissett. Nice
last horse we looked
run
at.
off the pace. This horse has got a good work pattern, but again, a wide open race. You got 9-2.
Yeah.
You beat Wesley Ward. You beat the favorite, and so it looks like you've got the horse who was basically tied for 3rd in the wagering.
It was a Scotty Longshot too.
A Scotty Longshot came from flying off the pace. See, 5 furlongs.
There you go.
Lows.
All right, man, we got a gap here, don't we? What's going on? Yeah, now we're into the later stages.
Aqueduct, we're done with Gulfstream's over, Big A's over. So we have a 529 post at Churchill.
Yep. So now we're looking at probably Hawthorne as our next
and
option.
What is Hawthorne? Let's
race
see.
4.
And how
7
long?
minutes.
All right. Well, I'll let you start Hawthorne, and I just want to, we do chat a little bit about hockey once in a while. Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to the Florida Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. I think Mike and I both predicted. We saw the writing on the wall. They were just getting on a roll. Once they went down 2-0 to Toronto in round 2, and in that 3rd game, we're down 2-0 and 3-1. And rallied. I thought that was a whole tournament Stanley Cup playoff changer. And they started getting more confidence. Yeah. They were building up. Guys were getting healthier. They started as Bob was getting better in net. And it just seemed like inevitable that they're going to wear everybody down. They played that right style. And they bottled up McDavid and Draisaitl incredibly. To me, the best player. The best defensive player was Gustav Forsling, who anytime McDavid seems to drive to the net, he was just taking a puck away from him. Yeah. And so congratulations again, the Florida Panthers.
Yep. Physicality got to him, I think. It got chippy. Was it game 4? Or game 5? And I think it just, the physicality changed the whole complexion of the series.
And I thought at a certain point that Edmonton lost their poise. They lost their confidence. They were out of sync, and it didn't help when Zach Hyman got hurt. And Evander Kane was just losing his stuff half the time.
He does all the time.
Bad penalties. They were just the lack of discipline. You can't. The way to beat the Panthers is to beat them with your speed and skill. Yeah. You can't get involved in the game they want to play, or you got to avoid that. You just got to outgun them, and playoff style is to bottle teams up. So,
yep, good goaltending, bottle teams up, and just keep a tight ship, and that's
run out 4 lines, right?
Yeah, I mean they had a great series. Marchand had a great series. our former Buffalo boy with 4 goals in the last. And I realized he
Yeah.
had 2 empty netters, but good for him. You know, it's good. It always seems like anybody that leaves Buffalo ends up doing better. So
Yes, Jack Eichel.
Yep.
And Reinhardt.
Yep. So case in point, and Reinhardt was very liked here too. So I don't think he was one that a lot of Sabre fans wanted to see go, but it happens.
Right. But in his defense, in Buffalo's defense, I believe that he was sort of an underachiever earlier in his career, correct? And he played well, but they didn't give him enough time to develop.
Yeah, but that's been typical. So
yep.
I don't know.
Right.
Hopefully things change.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what we can do with Hawthorne here. We got a lot of speed as it looks. We'll go through the race sim pretty quickly. I'll just click through the calls. 517, all showing in the 80s with a pace figure. Second call, they tighten up a little bit where the 4 starts to make some headway, and then the closers are going to start to come after them. If we go down in order here, yeah, the 7 is kind of true to form with the race sim. Breaks pretty well, does get the lead, has won twice on the lead at 6 furlongs on the dirt against 68 in the futurity back in October. That's pretty impressive. Don't know what kind of other speed was in that race. You know, did he face any other speed like he's going to face here? Lundberg, very similar. Looks like decent breaker. Gets on the lead, 1-2 back at this distance against similar company. 56 SOR versus 60, but same company. Looks like there was restricted there. Let's see. And then the 5, yeah. These guys got a lot of same form. 5 probably looks like more of a need the lead type out of the other 2. Lindbergh showed that it can come off the pace. And then 7 is also looks like a need the lead. So out of those 3, the 1 looks like the one that could take advantage of sitting off the pace if he doesn't get the lead, right? And he is the even money favorite at the time being. Look at some of these closers, David, real quick. The 4 is the one that probably will get first run. For Mr. DeVito, it's he's 16%. Let's see. Against 60 SOR, kind of just seems to be a one pace, doesn't make up any ground significantly. The only advantage he's going to have is the hot pace to run into, but doesn't seem to make up too much ground. And I'm going to look for somebody that is going to make up ground out of these closers. The 4 doesn't look like it to me. Just quickly looking through here. The 2, the same thing. And then it looks like the 6 is the only one that is shown where it can make up ground. It's faced a little bit similar company recently. So I don't know, David. I don't know how you see it, but I don't see anyway. Out of the speed, the 1 would be the horse, and then out of the closers, the longer price horse looks like the better of the closers, the 6.
Plunder. Yeah, again, I don't pretend to be a Hawthorne expert. I don't really play Hawthorne, but I mean, again, you can guys like us who've been playing so long, you can just throw them on a moon with a racing form, and we'll figure something out, right? And I think the horse that I'd be willing to use here and give a shot is the 4 Eli's Promise, the second Scotty pick. I think there's going to be a contentious pace between the 1 and the 7. And, Eli's Promise, the 4, comes out of Oaklawn and, 62 SOR group, 60 in the last. So face is similar where, Lundberg had raced against slightly weaker 56, 2 back. Again, to me, it's all about a game. This game's about looking for price. In a race that I'm not crazy about. I'm a big Jimmy DeVito guy. And I think maybe just despite the SLRs, maybe those Oaklawn groups were somewhat better competition, and maybe Oldie he's not on anymore. But give me the 4 Eli's Promise.
All right,
And
we'll
then
see what we
far
got here.
outside, a
There
Plunder
we go.
Fast Jack between horses. Tahoe Run on the Rail is next. 3 lengths back to It's Bob's Business. That one's about 8 lengths from the embattled leaders. Lundberg leads the way. Eli's Promise right there second. And then on the outside, Fast Jack has moved into third. Indyville starting to re-rally out there fourth. Tahoe Run along the rail fifth. In sixth is Plunder. It's Bob's Business starts to move from the back of the pack, but still 8 lengths behind the leaders at the top of the stretch. On the inside, Lundberg. On the outside, Eli's Promise head and head for the lead. Around the turn, they're in the stretch. Lundberg on the inside, Eli's Promise right alongside. Indyville starting to re-rally. It's Bob's Business from far back, closing ground. Then towards the inside, Fast Jack. Inside the final furlong, Eli's Promise has the lead. Indyville now closing on the outside.
Woo,
Comes the closer.
He's got him. You're right.
Indyville
Nope.
at the wire.
Yep, Indyville.
Promise second. Then it was Lundberg.
Indyville at 16-1. We kind of
Wow.
thought it was a rather contentious pace.
It was.
3 or 4 may have been too close to that pace, and Mike mentioned the 6 Plunder, who was the legitimate closer, but
7 was the. You look at that is so weird. He didn't run the form.
No, he would be projected to be right on or near the lead. So the closing tactics definitely worked. And my question, again, I know there's not a lot of money in the pool, but Lundberg took a whole shitload of money at 3 to 5. My God. Yeah. And so the EE morning line, Indyville at 5 to 1, up an 8 to 1 morning. You got 16 to 1.
Yeah, that Scotty says that every once, not once in a while, but he says that often. If you want to look for value, and if you're seeing an obvious chalk here that is questionable,
yes,
you take that multiplier, the win percentage and the live odds, and anything over 100, and look at that. That's a huge number.
Yes.
Now, that's just an angle to think about. It doesn't always work. I don't know what the percentage is that works, but when you see a race makeup like this, where you've got a clear favorite that has potential of and is top speed that looks like the speed but is possibly contentious, you're trying to find somebody at a price or sits off the pace. I didn't expect the 7 to sit that far off the pace, but
no,
that's an angle.
Changed his tactics drastically there, and it ended up working out really well.
Yeah, that's an angle. All right, we got another race at Indy coming up, and they've been post-dragging, so maybe we can take a bigger field here.
Okay.
I know we got to these later races I didn't get to handicapping either, so we'll do them on the fly.
Sure.
That's how we roll.
Okay, that's how we roll here on the Thursday show. Busy lives. Okay, so let me pull up Horseshoe Indy. Whoa, we got a full field, even with scratches of 7, 8, 9, 10. How many minutes to post, Mike?
We got 1, but they've been post-dragging, so.
Oh, no pressure to handicap a large field like this.
10-horse field in 2 minutes.
So everybody in the chat room might want to take my picks with a grain of salt, even though my speed handicap has probably been better than my
you had a good one earlier.
Handicapping on Aqueduct, right?
Yeah, you had a good one earlier.
Right. Okay, it's like you got a minute to post. Let's see. So again, we discussed this before. First thing I'll do is sort in pace metric order. We got an 84-80, and so we got 2 main speeds, and they are pretty big prices. The 4 is the lower of the price at 6 to 1 at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it's
a main special weight, and they're on the turf, correct? Not they did they change this off? They're on the dirt. They're on the dirt.
Yeah, they're on the dirt. No.
Going to mile and 70, so that changes things here. Okay.
So these are 3-year-olds and up. Let's look at lifetime. Not too many have run at this distance because it is an odd distance. Lifetime. The favorite that's 4 to 5 right now has 3 seconds on 6 tries. All the last 3 races, been on 2 off tracks. Has faced much tougher. That's probably why he has taken all the money. He's been facing 40s, raced in a 100K handicapper at against 60 SORs and finished second. That's probably why he has taken all the money, and kind of makes sense based off of who he's raced. 4 is a Scotty long shot. EE morning line, a bit of an angle. Is part of this pace and did stop last time out. Dueled, cleared, yielded. So I would not think for him to be necessarily on top and hold on to that lead, even if he gets it. Let's see if we can find a price in here. So let's see. Odds. We'll sort it by win percentage like we did. So this 3. Let's take a look at this 3. It's got a win percentage of 17%. It's at 25 to 1. It's the other horse that's at the speed. That's the other thing I don't like. Doesn't hang on. Facing tougher. Any big changes on here? Obviously, they're on the dirt. Sort by GSR. See if there's any big jumps. The 13 and the 11.
And the 4 also moves up to a 62 here.
Yeah.
From
against 38 SORs. The 13. 8.5 furlongs came in second last race out. The chalk might be the horse to beat.
Right, the 5 is taking the 5 is the even money favorite here, and the 5 it's got to be that right 42 SOR group, 60 SOR in that stakes. Now a 42 SOR, and now going to a 34 today. The issue I would have, or the question mark, is distance. I tried the distance once, mile and 70, and kind of packed it in late. But I think, Mike, after looking at this for a couple of minutes, I'm going to go with there's nothing ever wrong with going with the only dirt only, main track only Surzander. So I'd be on Surzander at 3 to 1. Had a good work on April 17th. And then that race off the turf on a mile and 16th, stalked the pace and tired late. Maybe we'll improve a little bit today, stalking, and maybe get a good position from that outside post, weaving back over. So, I would take the 13 here. Like I said, there's never anything wrong with taking the MTO, especially when it's the second choice and not the
right.
Yeah, now, it could change between now and post time, but I'd still probably single the 13 here.
Yeah, the other horse I was looking at was this 14. Hasn't done squat. It probably gave up in that race here. Yeah, it's like gave away ease. Just said I'm done. Man, it's hard to back a horse like that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's the only one that shows, that has raced against tougher SOR. They're going in the gate. I don't know. It's hard to go away from the 2 we picked. It's the chalk, the even money, and Sir Alexander. If I was going to pick anybody at a price, it's that 50 to 1 at 14. That's a big price.
50 to 1. Hey now. Whoa.
Marcelino Pedrosa
14.
Forever.
We'll go 5-14.
What the hell?
5-14.
5-14. All right.
SC, nice hit on that super.
Churchill.
Yeah. Good going.
Celio Flacco, Sir Xander drew in here as a main
And I'm on Sir Xander, the MTO, only MTO in the field, to try to second favorite, second choice, I mean. And 3-1. We'll take 3-1.
Yeah.
Stand by. One more. Engine Soul. Joe Ramos on the Thursday score sheet. Here is the shoe. All in. And they're off to an even start. CV Run and Legacy for the early lead. Here's Southwick with a bid right there toward the inside. Forever Greedy and TD Memories also close up, along with Sligo Time as they enter the first turn with Joseph Romero. It's CV Run and Legacy who leans out. CV Run and Legacy leans here. Forever Greedy, who's second and needs to settle there. Forever Greedy pursues CV Run and Legacy at the 6.5. Southwick is just in third. Buster Bean holding the rail, running in fourth. River Valiant taken back in fifth. Sligo Time is sixth between horses. TD Memories is seventh on the extreme outside. Break of three more to Sir Xander. Toward the inside is Unbridled Hero running second to last, and Engine Soul lacks speed. The quarter in 23.53 seconds, making their run past the half-mile pole. Forever Greedy pushing through underneath of CV Run and Legacy now for Hannah Leahy. Forever Greedy and CV Run and Legacy vying for it, with Buster Beat tracking them. The half mile, 47.53 seconds. Forever Valiant's on the move from fourth. Southwick in fifth. Unbridled Hero is sixth. Sligo Time in seventh. Sir Xander is eighth. Then further back to Engine Soul, and TD Memories has just tailed off. They make their way toward the quarter pole. CV Run and Legacy at 13-1 and favored Forever Greedy. And these two match up as they come past the quarter pole. They're 9 clear. From Forever Valiant
race.
into third, then toward the inside is Buster B on the
Somebody's flying, but they're in traffic.
3/4 and 1 minute 12.
Yeah, Sir Xander's getting shut off traffic. Sir Xander's going to finish third.
Forever Greedy in front. Now is pulling clear from CV Run and Legacy, who's second by 4.
Not even there.
Come down toward the line. Unbridled Heroes back in third. Sir Xander's fourth. Forever Greedy, the favorite, obliges by 6.
The class horse, I mean, had a big class advantage. The question was the distance, but it ended up being no contest. That was a blowout win by the 3-5 favorite, Forever Greedy.
All right. Let's see. We got Woodbine. Going to be another quick turnaround here. 1 minute to post, but they were post dragging a little bit. We'll just look at it real quick and see how. If they post drag too much, we'll just go to Churchill Downs. But I don't know if it's. Let's just take a look at it. They're all 20%. This might be just a dart throw. Let me see what I had on this one. This is race 6, right?
Race 6.
Yeah, the horse I liked scratched the 7. Texas Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
My notes went away.
Yeah.
I love when you do notes early and then your horse scratches.
It's frustrating, especially like on a day where you know you're going to be busy, so you do them the night before. Yeah. You wake up and you find out the track had a terrible thunderstorm that morning, and you didn't have time to put other notes in. And you put in like 11 notes or 12 notes that day, and 7 of your horses got scratched.
Are scratched, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can read my notes here on the 3, though. That was my second choice.
Secret Plan. It's a first starter, sort of a stellar Cyrus.
Yeah, first time starter for Twirling Candy.
Kevin Attard is.
Kevin's doing pretty good. Yep, he's a pretty good trainer here at
21%.
Mm-hmm. And then he and Pietro Moran are 35% winners at the meet right now, so they're doing pretty well. Twirling Candy is pretty much a versatile horse in his day.
Right.
Love that sire as well. So it's kind of a little bit of bias for me, just because I like that sire. That's the EE morning line angle was the other thing I was looking at. That 6-5 versus a morning line of 6-1 is taking a little bit of money, which is always a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just going through. That's when you got these first timers. That's kind of my thing. I look at their pedigree. GSR number is pretty good, 58. It's near the top of the group. jockey, trainer. How's the trainer been doing with firsters? Been training okay. Nothing lights out, but decent. That's kind of my walkthrough when I'm looking at these firsters. So that's who I had on top since the 7 scratch, David.
Right. So it's the 3 secret plan. Yeah, and just looking at it quickly,
oh shit! Looks like they're off.
Yeah, I think the 3. Yeah, the 3 would
Sorry.
be. Yeah, I think the 3 is going to run well here.
Yeah, my bad. We keep. They didn't post drag this time.
And 4 lengths away last remains
Right, exactly. When we're analyzing the race.
on the inside, secret
I
plan.
need to have a second screen
Length away,
open so
Fault
I can
Finder and
watch
Snatch
the
coming into the race strongly.
post.
And 5 away last, Cloud Rider, as they start the run to the final quarter. On the inside out for a rip, pressed by Secret Plan, and coming at them is Snatch 3 wide and looking for room up the inside is Fault Finder, and catching ground is Cloud Rider. Many chances
might
down
run
the
each other
stretch out for
down,
rip
though.
in front. Snatch wide on the track and
Somebody
up the
off the pace
inside.
coming.
Fault Finder, Secret Plan's given ground, but the favourites hit the front and Snatched has raced to the lead from out for a rip. And down the outside, Cloud Rider coming on late, but Snatch just opened up a winning break, and it's more than a snatch of a win. It's a big win. Has clawed away to win by 3.5 lengths out for rip.
Right. So you had the favorite who's had 10 opportunities, and it just faced with the scratches, faced a rather weak field here and got the job.
Yeah.
And when the 3 looked like a possible, I agree with you. The 3 looked like a possible live first timer out of Twirl and Candy, and it's hard. Has been 21% with first timers, but you never know how these first timers are going to run, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right, Churchill Downs. We got a quick turnaround now that we did that. Let's see where they're at. We don't do the same thing here.
Good old Louisville, going down to Louisville.
We got 2 minutes, it says.
2 minutes to post at good old Louisville.
Barstool.
All right. So let's look at, and again, this is a 5.5 furlong maiden 40. And we've got a majority of them. Yeah, I guess it's only a 7-horse field, now a 6-horse field. Yep. And you've got 1, 2, 3 first timers and 3 horses who've started. And with all things being equal, normally I would give the advantage to horses who've run before. But let's see the favorite, Barstool, Ben Colbert, and outside posts, both starts. Dirt first time, turf. Now back to dirt. Eligible to win, 3-2. Yeah. We got Red Speedo.
Face tougher. Drops down.
We got then the
Red
first
Speedo.
timers. Like I said, we don't know how the firsters are going to run. We got
Firsters.
Divot Diggers. The works aren't really impressing me. Let's see what Jake has on Divot Digger.
Kid Twist. The firsters, Kid Twist is not too shabby, actually.
Kid Twist.
Yeah, the 4.
A dialed in first timer. Mm-hmm. This is a complete guessing game.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have the Asmussen horse on the outside.
Yeah, the 7.
Crest. And that wasn't a bad. That was an okay debut race. Showed speed and tired. And maybe this horse lasts longer today. Let's see.
Oh, they're off.
They're off. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can't show it.
No, I'll try to get the sound on here. If I can get it fast enough.
Red Speedo's got the lead.
It's the far turn, the leader, and the lead's just under a length as Barstool.
Oop.
Pressure on Red Speedo, pushing them through a quarter in 22 and 4. They round the far turn with an oncoming Kid Twist, 3 wide.
Kid Twist is
Compressed.
flying.
Right up on the pace as well on the far outside 4th. Dr. Fenn and Divot
Somebody's
Digger.
going to get up the rail.
Twist
And make it
powers
move.
up to grab the lead. Barstool moves with Kid Twist. Red Speedo's back to third. Furlong to go. Kid Twist short lead. Barstool's not backing down. It's hanging tough, but has lost a lead to Kid Twist, who's now getting away late. And it will be Kid Twist, the winner, by nearly 2.
There you have it.
Barstool second.
Kid Twist at a decent price.
Dang it. I was going to, I got too distracted. That was the horse I was going to.
Yeah, no, you had mentioned that horse. Yeah,
Dang
Kid Twist.
Dang it.
Dialed in first time starter. And this horse went off at 9-1.
Yeah.
In the 6-horse field. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the works is what caught my eye. Oh, man. Oh, well.
Right, John Ennis. Here's the thing too, and sometimes these, like I said, these maiden races are very difficult to play because if you look at Ennis's success rate out of 84 starts, first lifetime start with first timers, he's 4%. Yeah. I mean, so if you just go by analytics and statistics alone, it's tough to play this horse. And again, had some good workouts here, but a lot of horses did so. Just benefited by kind of a sort of a pace, looks like.
Yeah.
And got the job done at 9-1.
Nice race. All right. What do we got next here? Looks like Hawthorne. Back to Hawthorne. We got Slim Pickens in a 5-horse race of 12.5K claimers and a very heavy favorite. So let's see what we got here. I don't think we have much of anything else to go to.
Hey, we've got some hunch place here. We've got Comiskey Park.
We got Comiskey Park. Gabagool.
Has anybody ever had Gabagool at Comiskey Park? That's what I want to know. No, they probably don't serve Gabagool at Comiskey Park. But
I think we've had this horse on here before.
Yeah, Gabagool. Every time we're on Gabagool. Now Gabagool is a Gulfstream horse. Yeah, this horse is raced. Every time I was at Gulfstream this winter, he was always racing.
We were on the show when this horse ran again.
Yeah, and I think he actually won a race when I was there. Yeah, let's see. His last win was August of 24, and I can guarantee you in August I was not going to be at Gulfstream. Yeah, Gabagool shipped up to Hawthorne, and he's disappointed at this $5,000 level. Yeah, he went to Tampa. He's probably just going off form, and he may end up at the woodshed in a couple of races here. So I don't know how you use Gabagool here.
Nope. That Gabagool would be a no for me. Expressor has the E morning line of 5-2 and is at 21%. It's got the top pace number.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see what the pace looks like here. Yeah, definitely looks like it wants to lead. Kind of one on the lead, rated last. It's given up the lead. Trouble line here, flattened. Jostled, gave way, all out, 2-path. Another gave way, and then outdueled and drove clear. So this horse is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Does have a win and a third at the distance. So 5 furlongs was against 48s, 7.5K claimers. So I guess you'd say very similar. And then the last 5 furlong win was way back when now. The third place, where was that? Right here. Against 42s.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you possibly can justify Comiskey Park. I mean, it's just the SORs. 72, 62, 56, 60 now, 48. They're dropping. Maybe this horse can't run. It's like giving away this horse going into a 12-5 claimer off the 25s. But I mean, third race off a layoff. You got to get to a point with a trainer. Do you want to win a race?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you get claimed. Yeah, I don't see how. It is a race I either pass or just single Comiskey Park going forward and horizontal. So it's all Comiskey Park to me. And I, out of just loyalty and fun, I think I had Gabagool give me a nice exacta here or there once in a while. So I'll throw Gabagool in for a second. I don't know. The horse probably can't run anymore, but Comiskey Park was, to me, very tough to down here.
Yeah, I think the only way to play this, like you said, is either horizontally as a single, maybe a double.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
Or obviously on top with an exacta. I was going to see what kind of prices we're getting here with hit on top with the rest of this crew here.
Exactly.
Find anything that is worth our while. Oh, let's see. Pools, probables. 4-1. Looks like the 4 with the 7 or the 8 is 4-1. Alibi Ike, I should say.
4 and 8.
3 to 5 over 5 to 2 is actually paying 4-1.
Okay. There's really not too much wrong with that if that floats your boat.
Yeah, if you're confident about that underneath horse. If 4-7 is paying 5-1, I'd be more confident with a 4-7. In my opinion, Gabagool is 9-1. 4 over the.
All right, just that I would say that Comiskey Park is a very likely winner here, and just for shits and grins, I'll use a Gabagool in the second spot. Like I said, this horse is going to the bottom, and maybe you'll wake up a little bit. Just a horse I'm familiar with was racing at Gulfstream.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any interesting quick cap here. It jumps out as a double. Yeah, this race doesn't look any easier. Uh, 40s, 40. Yeah, I can't pick anybody out fast enough to double into without taking a closer look. Now, the only play here is an exacta if you feel confident about one. I'm just watching the tote here to see if anybody's taking any money. Yeah, I'm just going to play an entertainment bet just for the heck of it.
Okay.
I'm bored.
Nothing wrong with entertainment. Hopefully you get entertained, though. That's the only thing. We play entertainment bets. And if you don't get entertained, you want at least a fighting chance to get in the mix here.
Cheap pick 3. I wish there was one.
Hawthorne?
Yeah.
How about 4-4-4? How about 4-4-4? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, looks like a clear favorite here, but what? Because it's dropping way down for a second time. That's probably why it's the chalk, but I don't see why it can't be beat. So has this horse been facing tougher? The 2 just doesn't hit the board. 1 for 12. Let's see who else here. Maybe the 8. Yeah, I don't like anybody in that next race. If you want to bet chalk, it ain't gonna pay anything. And then this 5's got a huge EE morning line versus morning line angle, top win percentage. Scotty Longshot in the last has been facing tougher. 1 on the lead. There's a bit of a pace in there between him and the 3. The 3 seems to drop anchor quite a bit. 5's the only one that has shown he can run off the pace, and that was on the turf at a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Scat, pick 3. It would be a shot in the wind, man.
Shot in the dark, shot in the wind, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no, I'd have, yeah. And it looks like they're off, Mike.
Yep, sharing the tab.
Right, Comiskey Park. There goes Expressor moving out. Expressor takes the lead. Comiskey Park second. Alibi Custles up third. Gabagool between horses fourth. Remember, the main is the early trailer as they run into the far turn. Expressor has the lead. And around the turn they go. Expressor leads a length and a half. Comiskey Park chasing second. Alibi Ike out there third. Goal
Got
fourth.
bet down.
Trailing the field as they come to the top of the stretch. Remember the
Gabagool might be getting a good trip today.
They're in the stretch. Expressor
Gabagool
comes
might
off
come
the turn
in,
a length and a half on top.
In the money
Comiskey
here.
Park coming
Yeah.
on again second. Then in between horses in the red cap is Gabagool.
Nice.
Followed by coming outside, followed by Remember the Maid inside the final furlong.
Maybe not.
Comiskey Park
Yeah,
is taking the lead.
Real horse
Seven's giving
Second,
4 a run
Gabagool
for his
third,
money.
coming down to the wire. Comiskey Park in
My exacta got bet down to
Alibi
4 to
Ike
1.
Second, Gabagool.
You kind of figure it, right? And
Yeah.
those are logical horses. And I mean, Gabagool didn't run a bad race, but yeah, logical horse. Comiskey Park ended up going off at 1-2. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I'm sure you had a couple of, you're not getting much. I'm sure you've got a couple of Chicago natives playing hunch horses here. I'm assuming that every time Comiskey Park runs at Hawthorne gets overbet, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly. All right, what we got? About 15 minutes. We'll end with Churchill Downs race 3. So your choice. You want to do? We could probably do we could do these 3. I think we can. How about we skip? Let's see. Let's look at. Oh, there's only 4 horses in that race. Maybe we'll just end it at Woodbine. There's only 4 horses in that Churchill Downs race, unless we want to look at a possible double.
Yeah. So what's left besides Churchill at 5:58, which would be we're planning to be our last.
That's it. So we have Indy in 4 minutes. We got Woodbine in 11, and then the Churchill Downs race that only has 4 horses in it.
Right. Do you want to end then on Indy? Do we have enough time to look at Indy?
We got enough time to look at Indy.
Yeah, I don't think it may not be. Let me just see if there's anything I really like. A 4-horse race at Churchill. We're not getting any value per se, but if you want to play the theory, the longest price in a 4-horse field, that's probably what I do. So not telling you much there, right? So Indy, let's take a look at Indy. We have how many minutes to post? 3 minutes.
Yep.
And then we might as well just close with that.
Yep. It seems like we got stuck with some crappy fields at the end of this. That's all right. It happens.
Yeah, that's stuff happens. All right. So again, we're going to speed handicap here, Mike, and I always pull it up in the pace metric order. So we have Stupendous at 3-1 current odds is 74, has a 74 pace metric, which is almost 18 points higher than the second for the girls. And then we take a look and see if the horse has ever run at the distance and what the scenario. So let's take a look at Stupendous.
You do the same thing I do. It's funny.
Cuts back from 1.70 2 for 34 lifetime is something that I'm really not too excited about. And again, off a 6-1 morning line, EE morning line at 12-1 to 7-2. To me, I'm looking for a better price, so I'm going to move right on. So then I will take a look at the top win percentage at 43%, and it's 50 Shade time. I guess it's something take on 50 Shades of Gray, I would assume. I'm just assuming it's 56 SOR, dumps down to a 50, but doesn't have much speed now, does this horse? So his pace.
Thanks, Jay. You too, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Thanks again for listening in. I'm not sure I'm sold on its 50 shade time. If you
Me
look at the
either.
races, this horse it doesn't have much speed. It's probably will run well, but I mean at 8, 9 to 5, I'm probably willing to take a pass. I don't know. I'm looking to see who else makes sense here. What about Timeless Glory?
Third trainer in a year.
Mm-hmm. Timeless Glory is a little bit interesting. And yeah, I say that, but it was claimed for 5K, moved up to 10. Then if you compare that horse, it's 50. And I mean, it's 50 shade time, never raced as low as 5. So it may have obviously a class advantage over the other one. But in its 50 shade times advantage, had run only once at Indy. The more that I look at it, didn't we just have? Let me go back here. We had a horse here that I was interested in, Basscoat, but I thought came from Oaklawn. Anytime, Mike, I see a horse coming from Oaklawn, coming down to Horseshoe. They've been running, with all things being equal, they've been running pretty well. And I'm going to guess, 2 back, it's 50 shade time. Had the 10 posts, probably not the greatest post. Didn't really lift the hoof off the claim. Had a muddy track. Has won one race on a muddy track. I don't know. I'm not crazy about that horse, but I think maybe just has a class edge here. And I'd probably match it up with, I do have a little bit of interest in Timeless Glory. I think that's your value. So I'd probably use either the 5 Shady Time or Timeless Glory. How about the 2 time horses in a exact?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. 2-5, 5-2.
2-5.
And
I the more you look at it, the 5, even that's not a great horse, but it's better than the rest, in my opinion.
And Mike, anytime I see a 43%, win percentage, that's just so high. I mean, and the next highest, the second is 13%. So it's tough to really fade that horse and say that the horse is over. The horse is. I don't even know if the horse is overbet, to be honest with you. That's probably what this horse deserves. So I'm going to match it up with the 2.
I like that. I like that bet too. I mean, the twos out of 4 tries has 1 win in 2 seconds. Let's see when the most recent action at that distance is. It's been a while, but
right, and there's a third race off. Right, third race off the layoff. Cut the race at Indy off that layoff on May 8th. It was not bad. Still off the pace. Finished 4th at 19-1. Probably didn't want to go a mile and 70. It cuts back now, back to a mile. I mean, not the worst looking horse to hit the board. So, give me a 5-2. Like I said, the 2 time horses. Time is 50 Shade Time and Timeless Glory. Not so much play. I think the 2 could run okay here.
Yeah, they're the top 2 in GSR too. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going with you. The other horse I was looking at was this Paquette horse with Ramos aboard. The only bad thing is hasn't run on the dirt except last race out was in good. So if I was to use any other horse besides the 2, it would be the 4. Let's see where they're at. We're getting close to the gate. So with that being said, guys, remember, hit the like, subscribe for you folks that are new to the channel. Looks like there's quite a few people here, a lot of familiar faces.
Right. Thanks for listening.
Also in the chat, thank you for coming today. Please like, subscribe. If you don't know how to do that, at the bottom of your screen, YouTube, you should see a subscribe button. You'll also see a bell. You hit the bell, you'll get notifications when we are streaming live or when we are about to go live. You get a notification. You can always hit the notification so you can have it let you know when we do have an upcoming show. And then if you hit that like button, it does help our algorithms and gets us promoted a little bit more across the racing industry. So we appreciate that, you guys.
Yes, definitely appreciate it. It was a show that I'm sure that Mike just joined me doing the show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure that Mike enjoys doing these shows as much as I do, and it's all because of you guys. And we just have a blast. We appreciate so much for this opportunity to handicap in front of the public. After I won the AFC,
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, Scrat, good point. Sign up for training sessions if you're interested in EquinEdge. You can get 3 live races every day. You can sign up for the coaching classes in the same way. www.equinedge.com. Bottom right hand, you can click up for coaching sessions. They're free. They're on Thursdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So sign up. They're great.
They're off.
All right, good luck.
Glory out to a sharp start. What's to do from the rail? Here comes an early bid from For the Girls, and also right there, it's 50 shade time across the track as they bank into the first turn. Nearest the inside, What's to Do and Timeless Glory as they vie for the early lead at the 6.5, and Timeless Glory has forged just in front for Gina Lucille. What's to Do second at the inside by a length, with on the outside For the Girls running in third, and just off these leaders going up the back of the track. Then between horses, it's 50 shade time running in fourth. Cinderella Story is launching a bit on the extreme outside in company with No More Fake News, and Stupendous in the blue sleeves with a white cap toward the rail. They're well grouped. The quarter is 24.35 seconds now in the shadow of the half-mile pole. Timeless Glory. Timeless Glory leads by 3/4 length. For the Girls second on the outside. On the extreme outside, Cinderella Story continues to launch a bid here in company.
This two's going pretty well. It's modest fortunes.
Half mile in 48.12 seconds.
Hasn't even been asked yet.
Nope.
Timeless Glory at 17-1, kicking for the quarter.
Favorite's got to make up a lot of ground.
Between horses, For the Girls under pressure. No More Fake News.
No. There they come.
Cinderella Story.
Mike's getting a perfect trip up the rail.
With the rail from Manny Esquivel, and Stupendous is last. As these distaffers straighten away, 3/4, 1 minute 13.16 seconds. What's to Do has taken the lead with 1 furlong to go. What's to Do spurts away to a 3-length lead. Nearest the inside, Timeless Glory with its 50 shade time, and on the outside, No More Fake News. They're close to home. What's to Do in Shelbyville?
Bang.
What's to Do for Denda de Cruz?
Whoa, the 5 didn't even hit the board.
Yeah, top jockey in the colony. Pulls through.
50 shade.
And had the inside post. Logical winner. We overlooked that. He was dropping down. That's what happens sometimes in speed handicapping, that you don't have enough time, and we get beat by a 4-1 shot. And again, 1-2 was probably in retrospect. I didn't make a play there, but Scott, thanks for listening. I'm glad we paid. Glad you made enough for a round of golf. Anything you can do, that's good. Yep. Always good to hear you guys who are, had a good ROI day, and it's great to hear that. Mike, I do have a question. Is there it is Thursday? Is there a weekend preview show tonight?
I don't think there is. Only because there's not any stakes races really. So
this is a very, very light weekend. Yes.
Yeah, until there's some stakes races and something that's fairly competitive. They probably won't do a preview show on Thursdays unless there is that kind of action on the weekend.
Right.
So I think not sure even if there's a show. Yeah, there's a show Saturday. I believe it's going to be Oldie and I. I'm not sure if Oldie's still around, but as of right now, I think it's Oldie and I going to be on Saturday doing stretch run. I think that's our next action. You guys tomorrow, David, are you doing road to the NHC?
Unfortunately, there's no road to the NHC tomorrow scheduled. I believe Mr. McKeever is in transit tomorrow. So just confirming that with him before airtime today. So we will catch you guys on the road to NHC a week from Friday.
Yeah. And then all works out with David and my schedule next Thursday. We'll reconnect again and do this for you again. We have a good time on Thursday afternoons.
Absolutely.
And then, for you folks that love the Friday night classes as much as I did with Chris, I'll talk to Scotty, see if we can't revive the Friday nights, especially with, Del Mar coming on board in the middle of July and stuff, and so on and so forth. But that was always a great Friday night. Kick off your weekend, get ready for Saturday, and we did some live races on the class on Friday, so maybe we can kick that back off again. That would
sound like a good plan. Bourbon and bets.
It is. Good time.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Thank you for connecting with us today. Hope you had a good time and made a little bit of money with us. And David, always good to see you, my friend.
Stay been a pleasure, my friend.
We'll be in touch, buddy.
Yep. Have a good weekend, and everybody out there, may the horse be with you. And let's show a flat bet profit this weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
Love it. Take care.
Have a good one. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.